Good Monday morning, everybody. It is Monday morning motivation once again. Chris Cooking Nashville here. My beautiful wife, Ash Taylor, is joining me. Isn't she looking lovely today?
You're very sweet.
No, I'm just telling you.
I don't know about that. I haven't had all my coffee yet. I'm waking up.
She walked in wearing this black with the stars and the red beanie, and just her hair's looking nice, and she just walked in, and I was like, I'm a very lucky man.
You're very sweet. I can throw on sweatpants, a sweater, and a beanie, and my husband's like, you're pretty. I'm like, glad you think so. Love is blind.
I don't know. Blind. No, it's not blind. We spent a lot of money for me to have these. So.
For sure. Well, hopefully everyone's staying warm.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously cold here in Nashville.
It is very cold. It's not necessarily that it's that cold. I mean, it's cold, but it's not that it's that cold so much as we had a day of tornado warnings and like 68 degrees. And then the very next morning, it was like 24 degrees.
Yeah.
And it's like the switch between those two that's just miserable. Not only is that not fun to walk outside in the midst of all of that, but then my sinuses and my head and all of these different things are like, what is going on? And you get like these weird random, like, oh, I do not feel good. I got a headache. I've got, whatever, because of the weather just screwing around on us that way. So
yeah, I just got back from taking our puppy out on a walk, and I was like, ooh, I need to go warm up. So
yeah, it's a little chilly out.
Just a little chilly.
Well, everybody, hello. Say good morning to us in the comments. Let us know you are here watching. I'm sure we will have some more people joining us from Joe and Rachel over at Two Crazy Ketos when they finish their live. I was over there for a few minutes. Just I got everything set up a little faster than normal today, and so I popped over there to try to say hi in the comments and support them a little bit. But I believe they're still going, so I'm sure when they're done, we'll catch up with a few of their people too. So
they're really great though. They're like amazing people.
Absolutely.
I love them.
Yep, they had a really cool topic today talking about resistant starch on the keto diet. And, interesting.
Good topic.
Yeah, interesting things like that. So. But yeah, say hello. Let us know you are here. If you have not yet, please hit the thumbs up to tell YouTube that you like this video. Yeah, let's see if it'll do it. Let's see if it'll do it. Yeah, see if it'll.
You try it.
It's
always
trying.
Does it when you do it.
I think it's because I have this great big old hitchhiker thumb.
Yeah. See, there you go.
So, yeah, there we go. But let us know you guys are here. Tell us what's going on for Monday. What's on docket for the week. What have you guys been cooking and eating lately? Anything you'd like to talk about? We have a subject today that I think is really important, and I'm going to go through a few comments, and then we'll get talking about that because I have a sermon to give.
Oh boy!
I have a sermon to give this morning. Boy. No, we'll say who's here, and then we'll talk a little bit and let you guys know about some exciting things that are coming up. We have a few really cool things that are coming. So. Let's see. So Janelle was here. She had to pop in, but I think she is out running errands today. But she said -4 in Wisconsin. Hubby has the day off. Might be out running errands this morning. I'll have to catch the replay. Well, Janelle, when you come back and catch the replay, thank you so much for being here. Hope you guys enjoy your hubby's day off and your errands, and try to stay warm because -4 is cold.
That's very cold.
That is cold. And Janelle, being one of our Rockstar moderators, said, everybody please click the like and subscribe button here. Then go hit like and subscribe on the CCN Studios channel. And she has the link there for it. So thank you so much, Janelle. Carrie is here, rowing the boat up to the live stream. Hello, Carrie. We're glad to see you. Never too much coffee. Yay. Made it before it started. We're glad you're here. I made it before it started too.
Yep. Good job.
I'm on it today. Carnivore K is here. Hello, Aunt Kay.
Hi, Kay.
Says, hey, y'all listening today while I'm painting. Well, that sounds like that could be either fun or miserable, depending on how you feel about it.
What are you painting? I guess that would be the question.
What are you painting, and do you feel good about painting it?
How's your emotions with the painting?
Lewis Stone is here, says, howdy all y'all. And he did use the appropriate conjugation of y'all.
Lewis, you're amazing.
Yep,
Good
we
job.
love Lewis. He's a member of our private community. You can see it is scrolling across the bottom of the screen down here. All right, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, talking about the free ebook and the private community. The private community is awesome. Lewis is over there amongst many other people, and we just have a really great time supporting each other and sharing what we're doing. And I put extra recipes there. We're going to be doing some private live stream stuff. We got a whole bunch of cool stuff coming. So,
it's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
It's really, really cool. So if you guys would like to join that, the link is in the description box. We would love to have you guys be a part of the band. Carrie's saying good morning to people. Lewis says, I got up early and got ready for work, so I might be able to see the entire live. Well, there we go. That's awesome.
There you go, man. What a trooper.
Rick is here, says, good morning, quackers. Good morning, Rick.
Quack, quack.
Sherry is here, and I have not put her in timeout. Good morning, all. Hello, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
And let's see. Rick says, heart attack chicken coming soon.
Ooh, yummy.
Sounds good.
I gotta try that, man.
Making me hungry already.
Yeah.
This is super cool. John Long is here. Says, hello, new here. Just started carnivore a few weeks ago.
Awesome, man.
Hello and good morning, John. We are so glad you are here. Congratulations on the beginning of a fantastic journey on carnivore. We are so glad you are here, that you are part of the community with us now. And we would love for you to stick around so we can support you and encourage you in your journey. And so we can celebrate your successes with you, as we are talking about today. That is what we were chatting about. So
cool.
Thank you so much, John, for not only being here, but having the courage to just pop into a community, put out a comment, say, I'm brand new, and introduce yourself that way, because this is so much easier with a community behind you.
Definitely.
So congrats, John, for stepping into a brand new world. And we are very glad you are here, my friend. Let us know how we can support you. Caleb's Carnivore Quest is here. What's up from Idaho? What's up, Caleb? How are you, buddy?
Hey, Caleb.
Good to see you. If you guys don't subscribe to Caleb, you definitely should. He's got a new channel and is doing really cool stuff. He's 16 years old and doing carnivore, and it's inspiring because we need more youth.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Lynn is here, says, good morning, Chris and Ash and all. Brr.
Say that again.
There is my sweet mama. Hello, all, watching from home today because we have a snow day and unfortunately are battling norovirus.
No
yes,
fun.
my parents are not feeling well, and I'm so bummed out that they're not feeling good, because snow days are fun, but when you have to be sick during the snow day, it kind of takes the fun away.
Yeah,
so
it's no good.
But I'm glad that you guys are able to be here, and hopefully, I don't know how you guys are feeling this morning, but hopefully there's some improvement from last night. So prayers for my parents to feel better. Mrs. Newton's Big Family Big Noise is here. Hello, Chris and Ash. Well, hello, Mrs.
Hi.
Newton. Good to see you. And she's right. She says, oh, of course she's gorgeous.
Oh, you're very sweet. Thank you. Very sweet.
Yes, she is gorgeous. There is Terry, my terrific life. Morning, Chris and Ash, and everyone in the chat. Hello, Terry. We're glad
Terry.
you are here. Holly Springer is here. Good morning, y'all. Hello, Holly.
Hi, Holly.
Barry Weems is in the house. Good morning. Hope everyone is having a blessed day. Barry, I'm glad you are here, my friend. Hope you are doing better, my brother. Let us know how things are going.
Yeah.
Carrie says Ash is such a star since she has all the stars. That's right.
Right there.
That's right. Mrs. Newton is correct. You're a blessed man. Yes, I am. Yes, I definitely am. Carrie says this coming Wednesday and Thursday, they're going to be back to very cold in Texas as well.
I think we're getting snow here in Nashville on Wednesday, I think they said.
Yep.
So,
we went to the store yesterday, stocked up. Probably a couple little things I might grab either today or tomorrow from the little local store here. And we're going to be good for a couple of days so we don't have to go out in the craziness of the traffic. Because here's the deal. It's not that the snow is that big of a deal. I come from a place I can drive in snow safely. It's not a problem. I know how to do it. Nashville has no clue how to deal with any snow or any ice or honestly even rain. If you put anything on the roads that is wet or in any way slippery, the entire city is just wrecks everywhere and people shutting down everything, because you get people who need to drive 20 miles an hour on the slightest gift of snow or the sprinkle of rain. And then you get the people that want to drive 90 on black ice. And then there's nothing in between. Like everyone loses their minds. And I hate going outside the house on the roads when there's any kind of weather out, because Nashville goes absolutely insane. And I don't want to end up in an early grave because of some Yahoo that thinks they need to drive their Tesla at 75 to 90 miles an hour. You know I'm right.
You're not.
It's either a Tesla or a Lexus or a Beamer. It's one of the three.
You're spot
that's
on.
always like, hey, how fast can I go around this corner on the ice?
Yep.
It's wild. It's
funny.
really wild. So yeah, I don't want to get taken out by a cyber truck. That'd be embarrassing.
Oh man.
Terry says, yes, the Tennessee weather is crazy. Just got to 31 degrees in East Tennessee.
Ooh, yeah.
It has been wild.
It is wild.
Mrs. Newton says, my husband's the same way. I walk around 90% of the time looking like a hot mess mama. My husband is always ooh and ah.
That's really sweet, though. It's a husband thing.
It is. That means you got a good man.
Yeah.
Because he is capable of seeing that there is more than what you ladies think is on the surface. We can see so much more underneath, and that's what we actually fall for. Brenda Foley is here. Hello from Louisville. Hello, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
And Robert Hanna is here. Says, good morning from Pennsylvania. Good to see you, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
And John is saying hello from Pittsburgh to us. He's in Pittsburgh.
Awesome.
Very cool. Sharon is here. Good morning from Canada. Got snowed in over the weekend. Hi, Sharon.
No.
Yeah, up in Canada. I bet you probably did. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's probably cold up there.
Yeah, stay warm.
Lisa is here. Good morning from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Good to see you, Lisa. Living on Tulsa time.
Little Don Williams.
Yep. There is the lovely Cindy DeManch. Good morning, Cindy.
Hi, Cindy.
And Patricia Hoffman is here. Grandma's in the house. Says cold in South Carolina, but Rosie the puppy doesn't mind.
Aww.
What is it about dogs that just it's cold and they're just like, oh, this is the best?
Mel will literally stay outside and want to play and walk around when it's pouring rain. When it's snowing, it could be negative whatever temperature, and she's like, let's just stay out here all day. And I'm like, no, move it. Let's go.
Absolutely.
It's a puppy thing.
And Terry says, just switched from 2 crazy ketos to you. LOL. Must share my time with my keto peeps. So we appreciate that, Terry.
That's awesome. Well, we're glad you're here.
And everybody follows suit with Carrie. He hit the thumbs up 1 trillion times +1.
That's a lot of thumbs up.
That is a lot of thumbs up, but we sure appreciate it. And Cindy is watching on both channels. We appreciate that,
awesome.
Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
Debbie is here. Says, good morning, everyone. Hi, Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
Dawn is here. Good morning from Western North Carolina. Chilly here, too. Good morning, Dawn. We're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Purple Love and Non is in the house. Negative numbers temp here in Wisconsin. Multiple layers on to go outside with Kara for the vet appointment. Well, I am sorry you got to go outside, but make sure you layer up, and we're very glad you're here, Nana.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Carrie has been getting a lot of lives done today, and then when he gets done, he's going to be applying for more jobs. Well, good luck to you, Carrie. That's great.
Good deal, Carrie. That's awesome, man.
Mrs. Newton says, so I'm struggling because eggs give me terrible acid reflux. Okay. So, Mrs. Newton, I'm curious, have you tried taking the whites out and eating just the yolks? Because some people have various issues related to egg whites because of a protein that's in there. Specifically, it oftentimes is chicken eggs. So have you either tried eating just the yolks and not the whites, or on top of that, have you tried something like duck eggs if you can find them? I know those can be tough, but if you can find someone nearby that raises ducks, sometimes you can get duck eggs. The protein of egg whites, and specifically chicken eggs, can sometimes cause issues. Now, you may be one of those people that just eggs, no matter what kind you try to eat, it may cause issues, but I have never experienced this myself, so I don't know what that's really like, but I know there are people who just, they struggle with eggs. So a couple of things you might consider. Maybe it's just the yolks you eat, or maybe you get something other than chicken eggs to try.
Yeah.
So, John says, I just started and my appetite is definitely reduced, which is good, but I think I'm not eating enough. Going to start tracking with Carb Manager. John, this is great. So, there's a couple of things that I'm going to say about this. One, your appetite reducing is a really good sign. That means your satiety hormones are all coming into play, right? And I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice, but from my own experience, here's what I'm going to say. Don't feel like you're not eating enough as long as you are full and you are satisfied. If you're hungry, eat. If you're not hungry, Don't feel like you have to force yourself to eat. Now, tracking with Carb Manager, it might give you some interesting information. I think it's a cool thing to do. It's also good to see what kinds of carbs are you getting with the kinds of carnivore foods you're having. Because if you're having dairy or those kinds of things, you are going to get some trace carbs in that. Now, for me, animal carbs don't affect me the same way as plant carbs. So I can get away with dairy as long as I don't overdo it, we've found. And I also get a few carbs from the spices because I do the dirty carnivore thing and I still use some spices. So it's good to kind of get a general range of about where you are with any trace carbs you might be getting. It is interesting to see how much fat and protein you might be getting. And as you do it for a while, you kind of learn what it looks like on the plate and you don't really have to track so much anymore. But I would say don't feel like you need to force yourself to eat. If you're not hungry, your body's just not hungry, and that's okay. And over time, that will settle out and you'll be able to eat more again. So yeah. I think overeating and undereating, when you do carnivore, if you do it as whatever amount of strictness you really need for you personally on carnivore, when you find that, it all levels out because your body and your natural satiety all start to level out. Like our bodies are designed to know when we need food and when we don't. And if you can get all of that really balanced out, I find there's not actually much that you need to track. Yeah. So, and I know there's people out there that are different about that and they track everything they do. And I think that's fine. I would totally fail at this if I had to track every bite of everything that I was eating every single day to try to hit some certain goal. I wouldn't be able to do it. There's no way I'd be dedicated to the numbers. So if that works for you, excellent. But for me personally, it just wouldn't. Right. And John being so new, that's kind of the thing that we all kind of talk about where it's like everyone's body is a little bit different. Right. And so especially with being new, you may just have to experiment with different things until you're like, hey, this really seems to work with me, and you see results from it and you're good. So but I think the one thing I would say that is across the board recommendation that I personally would give as, again, not medical advice, just as a guy who does this, I would suggest if you're not hungry, don't feel like you have to force yourself to eat. Yeah. Yeah. Your body, if you get hungry enough, your body will tell you. So it's great. Sherry says, I love that you two love each other so much. It really does an old lady heart good. Oh, that's very sweet. You love me? I do. That's wonderful. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Very sweet. I would be lost without this woman. I really would. Oh, I'd be lost too. I'd be running around somewhere. Sandy is here. Good morning from Florida. Hello, Sandy. Hi, it's good to see you. It's probably warmer in Florida than it is here. I certainly hope so. Yeah. Rick says it is never, ever cold here. In fact, it's hot and humid. Yeah, Miami doesn't get cold very much. So yeah. Kelly is here, says, good morning from, I'm going to say Knoble or Nobel or something, Arkansas. I think it's Noble, Arkansas. Noble, Arkansas. Yeah. I'm just a redneck trying to figure it. Hook it on Pahonix will work it for me. We are at 25 here. That's pretty cold. Awesome. Hey, Kelly. Pretty cold down there. We're glad you're here, Kelly. Purple Love and Nana wants to know what's the difference between this and the studio channel. That's a great question. Yeah. So the studio channel is where these live streams and health related videos eventually will end up. I am growing that channel because until we get it to a certain point and people know about it, if I did these just on that channel, no one would watch because no one would know. So I'm trying to use this channel to grow the studio's channel. And once it gets to a point where it's a big enough deal, I can start doing these just over there. So that way, if you're interested in the health related things, the motivational live streams, interviews I'll do, that kind of stuff will all be hosted there. And then the main Chris Cooking Nashville channel, it will be just about like food and products and like the things that are just the kitchen related stuff. I'm trying to eventually grow to where I can separate those two out so people can subscribe to just one or the other if they prefer, or they can subscribe to both. And that way they can kind of pick and choose what it is they're interested in. Just makes it more convenient for a lot of more people in the community, depending on what they're looking for. Because there's some people love the motivation. They love the interviews. They love health stuff, but they have no interest in doing recipes because they hate cooking and they just want to eat a steak every day. And that's cool. Yeah. I don't want to exclude those people either. So I have both channels. I do this on both right now until we can grow the studio's channel to where it makes a big enough splash on YouTube. that people realize I'm actually doing this, and it doesn't just end up being Ash and I and like one person sitting here for an hour. So
because that would be kind of boring.
Right.
Yeah.
It would basically be probably you and me and Lynn and maybe Cindy and Janelle if they were available to show
It
up.
would be like when you first started your main channel,
Right.
and basically anyone who watched your videos, it was me, your parents, and Lynn.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that would pretty much be the end of it. I think basically Lynn and Cindy and Janelle came in fairly early.
Yeah, Janelle was pretty early.
And there's like maybe a couple of other people. That's pretty much what my channel was at the beginning, and it was just like nothing was happening. So that's why I have both right now, and that's why we do this on both. But eventually, I would love to do these just on the studio's channel, and then do just the food related things on the main channel, just to make it easier for everybody. But it's a work in progress. So
yeah.
Let's see. Mrs. Newton says, "Hi, Cindy, where is he reading? I don't see any of these comments." Probably, depending on which channel you are watching on, Mrs. Newton, you are probably on the opposite channel where most of these are coming from. I have both of them linked into StreamYard, so I see comments from all the places where it comes from. So that's why you're not always seeing.
We basically stream this live stream to both of the YouTube channels, and then also to Chris's Facebook page.
Yeah. So and then
everything goes all right here to us. So we just see everything.
Yes. This is wonderful. First of all, Jeffrey Cox sent us a $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Jeff. This is another one of our amazing band members. Just a fantastic human being. We appreciate the support so much because it makes such a difference when you guys do things like this and bless us so that we can continue what we do. But he says, "Hello, bright and shining stars, celebrating multiple success stories of some of my patients accepting the gospel of the PhD today."
Nice.
Like Carrie Mann says, "I'm feeling thankful, grateful, and blessed." So this is really cool. Jeff has talked with me here in the private group, like all these places. So he does like, I believe like in-home nursing type stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so he works with patients, and he is always talking about low carb and keto and carnivore and all this stuff. And just going out and setting an example, trying to help people with the proper human diet.
Yeah.
And so his boss is now doing carnivore, I believe, and is having amazing results. He's got some patients clearly that are using a proper human diet now and starting to see amazing results. I mean,
so cool.
And Jeff and I have talked about this, and it's like, I put out some information. He uses some recipes and then talks about like these kinds of things. He shows people my channel, Dr. Barry's channel, Carrie's channel, whoever, right? And he's just spreading the word about this being helpful to people, and it's making a difference in people's lives. And it's like, this is how we change the world one plate at a time.
Yep.
This is how we change the world. We do this little by little, and we don't rely on the government and big food and big pharma and everyone to finally come around to things. This is one of the reasons when people say, "I want to see your foods in like your recipes in packaged format in the grocery store." I would love for the food system to support that, for us to truly have amazing things like that in the grocery store. I would love for the food system to support that. But guess what? Right now, it doesn't. It is so expensive to make this stuff. It is so hard to compete against giant corporations that make trash food that you will go. It is so easy. It's not a guarantee, but it is so easy to lose everything you have by putting it all into a company for a very small niche market, and then you get muscled out by giant corporations that don't want you to compete. And if they can't muscle you out, a lot of times they end up buying you out, and then they change your stuff back to trashy food, but then they sell it at a premium as a different brand, even though it's owned by the same company. They sell it as a high-end version, and they make even more money off of that one. And so it's just, there's such a system that we are fighting against when it comes to that kind of packaged food. That's why I show you guys the recipes, and I suggest you do this at home, grassroots, and you teach your friends and neighbors, and you share these recipes, and you learn to cook them for yourself, because that's how you take control back from big corporations that have all the money and the power and control things and can lobby in the government and do all this stuff to fight against that. That's how we start doing it, because I can't go in a grocery store and figure out how to make my chicken-based pasta noodles that would have to be extremely expensive and refrigerated, and there'd be just so many mountains to climb to even get that in a grocery store. Marketing and like just crazy distribution and licensing and legal stuff. I mean, it would be thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars that I do not have just to even begin that process. I mean, it would probably cost anywhere between $10,000 to $100,000 for me to start a company to even start getting that done. Now, I'm not against doing that, but I'm not in a position right now I can.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I would get it done, I'm competing against things like Cremette and Barilla or Berea, however that pasta is pronounced. And, you know, Dreamfield's low carb pastas and all this kind of stuff. My stuff would not be shelf stable like theirs. It would be way more expensive for the amount of food you would get. It might be super nutrient dense comparatively, but that's not what people are going to care about. And then you have the power of corporations like that want to muscle you out. And if they can't muscle you out, then they want to buy you out. And it's like, I can't fight against that. I'm one human being. I cannot fight against a corporation. But what I can do is put that recipe on YouTube, teach thousands of people how to do it, who then they go like Jeff and they teach other people about proper human diets. And then those people go and teach more people. And suddenly people are spending their money doing that instead of spending it on that boxed pasta from Berea and Cremette and Dreamfields and all these other things. And then guess what? Those companies start to hurt. And then they realize if you don't shape up, you're going to go out of business. That's the way we make a grassroots change. That's how we take control back from those companies. You guys don't need packaged products. You need to be like Jeff and go teach your neighbors and friends and family how to do the exact same thing and take back their health. And when enough people do that, companies are going to start to wake up and the system will start to change from the inside out. And that's what we have to do, because we can't muscle our way in as little tiny companies trying to force them to change. We have to go direct to the source, which is the people, which is where the flow of the money comes from that keeps those companies in power. That's how we change it. So Jeff is doing exactly what I would like to see everyone do. And thank you so much, Jeff, for sharing. You are an incredible human. And thank you so much for your financial support of the channel, because it makes what we do easier to have things just like that. So thank you very much, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
S. Diamond is here, says, good morning from New Jersey. Hello to you. We're so glad you're here.
Hey, friend.
Auntie is in the house. Good morning, Chris and Ash. Hello, Auntie.
Hi, Auntie.
John is here. Cranky Carnivore Cutler says, greetings, all y'all. Hello, John.
He said, all y'all. That's how you do it.
That's right. Yeah. John Long says, thanks for the welcome and loving your recipes so far. Well, I'm so glad, John. And you're very welcome. We just are very glad you are here. Sandy says, praying for your parents. I appreciate that, Sandy.
Thank you,
Sandy. Nighthawk Predator is here. My wife and I are new to your channel and new to this diet. So glad I found you both. Relieved, to be honest. Well, Nighthawk Predator, thank you so much. And we are so glad you and your wife are here. I believe I saw a comment maybe on the YouTube channel that I have not replied to yet from you, I think, on maybe it was the bread recipe. And you said that your wife was maybe struggling a little, but saw the bread recipe and it gave her hope. So I wanted to let you know, first of all, I'm really glad you're here, and I'm glad that these are helpful for you guys, because that's why I do what I do, because I was exactly the same, where I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, this is really tough, right? And doing this from time to time, I don't use recipes daily, but when I do, it makes me happy. It makes me stable. It helps me stay carnivore. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad that this is cool and that you feel that relief. I felt the relief when I would create a new recipe each time. That's why I still do it. I was going to tell you on that bread, if I am correct, and you're the one that said this, on the bread, go heavy on the egg white powder the first time you make it. Because if you have too much egg white powder, it gets a little bit memory foam texture, but you can still eat that. If you go too light on the egg white powder, it tends to fall and it can be squishy and it's not very good. So you're better off to go heavy on the egg white powder. And then as you make it over time, back that egg white powder down until you get the texture just right. And once you kind of learn how to do that, you can do it every time. But it takes a little practice the first couple of times to get it just right. So lean a little heavy on the egg white powder and just know if it's a little memory foamy, that's okay. Put some extra butter on it, it'll be fine. And then when you make it the next time, just back that down a little bit until you get it and you're like, okay, yeah, that's the texture Chris must be going for, because that's more like a white bread texture, soft and pillowy, but it doesn't sink. So if it sinks, you need more egg white powder. If it's too dry and kind of choky when you eat it, it's too much egg white powder. So it's just finding that balance the very first time. But I believe that was you that put that comment on there, and I saw it real briefly, but we've been super busy and I wasn't able to take time to respond with that full explanation. So we are really glad you're here, and I'm glad that these recipes are encouraging you guys. And if you have questions or if you guys need more support, feel free to reach out. And since you're brand new, this private group right here that is scrolling across the screen right here, right on my website, that'd be a great place if you guys are interested in more support. Since you're brand new, feel free to check it out if you'd like to come join us in the private group. There's a bunch of other people in there doing both keto and carnivore. They can give you great advice. Ash and I are over there so you can get more direct access to ask us questions or interact with us and find support. And any of you guys that are new to doing this diet, it's so much easier with support. It really is. It's the reason I failed the first time, where I went back off the rails. I did not deal with a carbohydrate addiction, and I did not have a supportive community. Ash was super supportive. My parents were supportive, but it's I didn't have a group around me that could give me advice, because she and I were learning this together, and my parents were doing keto. They weren't even doing carnivore. And so, Ash still does generally kind of oscillates between keto and carnivore depending on the day. And so it's I'm really the only one that was doing carnivore, especially then. And I didn't know where to get support. I didn't plug in. And so that's why I went off the rails the first time, went back to my carb addiction. And the second time around, I started creating the recipes, and I created the community that I have with Chris Cooking Nashville. And that is what has kept me so successful. So if you guys would be interested in that, we'd love to see you over there. If not, totally cool. But you can message us. You can find me on social media. You can make comments on the videos, come to the live streams, ask questions. We are here to support you. So very glad you and your wife are here. You guys and John Long, that is amazing to have new people in the community. We love you guys. We're so happy you're here. We love helping people.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Everybody's talking about the new baby in Cindy's family.
Aw, congrats, Cindy. That's awesome.
Yep. Is that a grandmother or great grandmother status?
If I'm not mistaken, if I keep up with everything, I think this is her first great grandchild.
Okay. So let us know, Cindy.
Great grandma Cindy.
I love it. That's right. I'm not trying to age you, but I'm also not trying to get it wrong either. So
there was that one time, is it you called Cindy a grandma or something like that?
I made the comment that Cindy was like my grandma, and it wasn't because of her age. It was because of kind of the relationship that exists there. And she gave me so much crap over the fact that she's like, I'm not old enough to be your grandma. Yeah,
I remember that. Because I told her, I said, you can kick his butt, Cindy. Go ahead.
So in a couple of live streams, I called her old, decrepit grandma Cindy to just prove a point. Because I got to give her a hard time.
Only because we love her.
That's right. I learned how to give Cindy a hard time from Dustin over at Keto Simple.
Yeah, you guys are so mean to Cindy.
He's got it down to a science.
I feel like one day Cindy is going to get you and Dustin back, and I'm going to be on her team. I'm siding with her.
One of these days, I'm going to wake up and she's going to be standing over top of me with a frying pan, and she's like, "Say it one more time."
Just hit him upside the head.
And you're going to be sitting there like, "I let her in. I told her, go ahead.
I told you had it coming."
Lynn says, "Get well thoughts to Pam, Delisle, and Tony, to my parents."
Aw, thanks, Lynn.
Caleb says, "I'm going to be on Homestead House channel soon. I'm excited to talk with Carrie." That's awesome, Caleb. Congrats, man.
Very cool.
We got to get you over here on our channel sometime soon too. So I'll shoot you a message. We got to make that happen. Let's see who else. Let's see. Never Too Much Coffee says, "Our women's group at church is starting a weight loss and health support group that will meet every Sunday evening. It won't promote any particular diet. It's just to support and encourage each other."
I love
because
that.
Support and encouragement is so vital to being successful. It's what we're talking about with the Who's Celebrating Your Success commentary today. So
I love that though. That's so cool.
Yep, absolutely. Terry says Nashville traffic goes crazy in any weather. Yes,
it really does.
You're not wrong.
Rain, sleet, shine, doesn't matter.
Wrong. Yeah, they're just crazy in general. Jeff Simmons is here. Hello from Centralia, Washington. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah.
Lynn says she's going to make sure to watch Caleb on the live stream with Carrie when he's on the channel. That's awesome. let's see who else is here. Oh, Terry is being so sweet. Don't forget to hit the like button, everyone. Yes, please. We have 72 people watching. I don't know how many likes we have, but I would appreciate
hopefully 72 likes.
That's right. That's right. I would appreciate those thumbs up, my friends.
Yeah.
Barry says, been under the weather lately, had a blood pressure issue that caused me to pass out and be taken to the ER by ambulance. Since then, I've been put through the ringer with lab work and scans. Prayers, please. Barry, I'm so sorry.
Barry.
We will pray for you for sure, but let us know what we can do to support you.
Yeah.
And, we just hope you get feeling better as quickly as possible. And I'm so sorry about that. That is no fun.
It breaks my heart.
Blood pressure issues are...
Yeah, especially passing out and stuff. Barry, we're going to be praying for you, though, man. Please reach out, though, if you need anything.
Yes, absolutely. Sherry says, it is still 41 this morning, but will warm up to the high 60s later today, and my crazy dogs will be swimming.
Oh, man.
Love it. Kay says, I bought a new-to-me kitchen island off Marketplace. Got a great deal for it, so I'm excited to see the end painting result.
Oh, that's really cool.
Awesome.
Awesome. I love that.
Awesome. It's always good when you're painting because you got new toys.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a fun thing.
That's a good reason to be painting.
Definitely.
Hi, this is Carla from South Dakota. It is minus temps here all week. Brr.
Oh, hey,
Carla, we're glad you are here. Please stay warm.
Yeah.
Rick says, go to the canal to look for duck eggs. There you go. Nighthawk Predator is from Plant City, Florida.
Awesome. We got lots of Florida peeps in here today.
Yep, absolutely.
That's great.
Let's see. Carrie says, if you eat duck eggs, then you might go quackers. That's right. That's probably what happened to Rick.
Maybe so.
He also says, why did the cabin join a gym? It wanted to get shredded. That's a good one. I like that, Carrie. Let's see. Oh, Caleb with $1.99 super chat. Well, thank you, my friend. Says, have you heard of anyone being allergic to coffee? So, allergic to coffee, not necessarily. However, there are some people who are very sensitive to things like coffee because, coffee does have oxalates. It does have trace carbs. It's a plant. It has a whole bunch of different, compounds, plant compounds and chemicals and stuff in it. It is very possible that someone could be really severely allergic or at least severely sensitive to the things in coffee. I know Dr. Chafee talks about how he has had people do meat, salt, water, carnivore, and then they go and they work out super hard. Mm-hmm. One of the doctors that he works with, I think, and then the guy was just not really thinking about it. He just started drinking coffee, and he was like, oh, I'm so sore. See, I shouldn't have worked out so hard with you yesterday, Dr. Chafee. Like, I can tell, like, I just worked out too hard, and I thought I was good, but I don't know. I just, it just took a while for it to set in, I guess. And Dr. Chafee said, I looked at him and said, what are you drinking right now? And he said this doctor looks down and realizes he's got coffee, and he goes, I cannot believe that. And so there are some people that seem like they can really do things, and then when they introduce coffee, it just immediately causes problems. So it doesn't do that for me. I did, it was a little over 30 days without coffee that we did. I can't remember exactly how long it was, but
it was 30 long.
Yeah, it was 30 long days. Yes. And when I added coffee back in, the only thing that happened to me was joy returned to my life. So I don't seem to have that sensitivity, but I would not be surprised if there are people who do have that sensitivity. And, I think this goes back to that thing of everyone's a little different. You got to figure out what exactly works for your body. If coffee is no problem for you, like Dr. Barry has talked about, he's done no coffee and he's like, I'm fine. And he's like, it doesn't matter whether I do no coffee, if I do decaf coffee, if I do half calf, if I do full calf, doesn't seem to make a difference to me. I feel like I'm kind of the same way, although I do enjoy the caffeine. Some people I know are really sensitive to it and they just don't like it. They don't want it. It doesn't make them feel good. So it's very possible. And what the line is for being allergic, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know where where does a sensitivity end and an allergy begin? How acutely do you respond, I guess, to having it? But that's a great question, Caleb. I don't know of a specific like acute allergy personally, although I'm sure they exist because allergies to everything seem to exist somewhere. Sorry, I've got junk all over my shirt. I don't know why. Allergies to everything seem to exist somewhere in the world at some point. even if they're super rare. So
sure.
But yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah.
Rick says, I'm quackers for sure. Well, that's okay, Rick. That's why we love you.
Exactly.
Juju is here, says, good morning, you beautiful people.
Hello. Beautiful friends.
Never Too Much Coffee says, I have issues with eggs as well. We switched to yard eggs that we buy from someone local, and I did not react when I used them in the waffles and pancakes. Yeah, and so it probably is something to do with how the chickens are being fed. Yeah. If you buy yard eggs, they're generally free-ranging, and they're, pasture-raised, and they're eating bugs, and they're eating all of these proper chicken diet things. When you go to the store, a lot of times they're grain-fed, and so the proteins get affected by that in the eggs. So that may very, very well be the case for you. So that's awesome that you've got that kind of figured out, though, that it's like, hey, if I have these in these recipes, I don't react. Yeah. That's great. Juju says, while extremely rare, some people may experience a severe allergic reaction to caffeine called anaphylactic shock. There you go.
Juju knows things. I'm telling you, man.
Go.
She knows things.
Roxanne Budd is here. Hi, y'all. Hello, Roxanne.
Hi,
We're so glad you are here. Caleb says, I get anxiety from drinking coffee, so I stay away. Yeah. So this may be a real sensitivity to the caffeine or something else that's in the coffee for you. So it's a really good question. Yeah. He says, and the more I drink, the worse it gets. Yeah. So it sounds to me like you're one of those people that maybe you're really sensitive to that. It's either the caffeine or maybe it's some other compound in coffee beans. But either way, just steer away. Yeah. Steer away. So that's cool, though, that you can kind of figure that out. So John says, I appreciate the advice. I'm not really looking forward to tracking macros. I just want to do whatever I can to be successful. Just want to feel better. John, I totally get it, man. I really understand. Tracking macros can be very helpful for you if you have a specific goal in mind. I think, if you're saying like, I want to feel better, eating more doesn't necessarily make you feel better unless the reason you're not feeling good is because you're hungry and you're not eating enough. Now, you can also play, sometimes it's not so much with eating more or less. Sometimes it's playing around with the fat ratio. Like, are you going to feel better if you eat higher fat? Will you feel better if you eat lower fat? Some people need like really high fat and moderate protein. Some people need really high protein and moderate fat. I don't ever recommend low fat. I don't see anybody that says they feel real great doing low fat, but because fat is so important for your diet. But if you kind of play around with that kind of stuff, if you start playing around with, are certain spices making me not feel good? Does dairy make me not feel good? Do egg whites make me not feel good? Like, there's a bunch of different ways that you can kind of adjust things to figure out what makes you feel the best. Tracking your macros is really cool if you have some specific thing you're trying to find out, or if you have a specific experiment you want to do and you need to track it. So I totally get it. I hope that if you begin tracking some macros, hopefully you can find some information out about that and you can apply it to your life and try some different things and find what works best for you. So but let us know if there's any way we can support you in that. Evelyn's here. I'm late, but I'm here. When Andy shows up, can you sing happy birthday?
Andy's birthday.
I'm sure we could do that. When Andy shows up, we'll say happy birthday and put a little musical bent on it.
Awesome.
Let's see. John Wise is here. Just finished 2Ks of Keto's live stream. 17 minutes at 1.5 times to catch up.
That's pretty fast. Pretty fast.
Love it. Let's see. Juju says, do we have a good, safe egg white powder brand to buy yet? As a community, have we figured it out? So this is a great question. I don't know of a specific one that is my first go-to. I still have a bunch left over from the sport nutrition, sport protein.
Pro sport protein?
I can't remember what the actual name of the company. I still have a bunch left over of that I know is clean that I've been using. So I haven't had to buy any in a while. So I'm keeping an eye out. I have used Judy's in the past, but it is a little bit more expensive. There's one out there that I think is called something nutrition. I'll have to go look it up, that I've seen that the prices looked pretty good. And I think the label said it was clean, but I have not tried it. So does anybody in the community know, have we found a good, clean, hopefully inexpensive comparatively to the other brands, egg white powder?
Yeah.
So with the egg shortage right now, that's probably going to be even harder. So,
yeah.
But I would love to know if anybody else has any brands that they've been looking at.
Mm-hmm.
John says resistant starches like net carbs, they really don't exist. I totally agree. And Two Crazy Ketos was making the comment on the idea, the resistant starch thing, scientifically, yes, it does work, but it's like maybe a 10% difference. So if you're trying to eat potatoes or rice or pasta and do the resistant starch thing to cut down on the carbs and reduce the glucose spike you're going to get, it's going to be a minimal effect. And it's like, plus it doesn't address the fact that those kinds of things are inflammatory and not nutrient dense. And it's like, can you survive on those foods? Sure. They're famine, survival foods. They've always been used that way in human history, but you're not going to thrive on those foods. Even if you can somehow make the starch resistant so that you don't get as much of a blood sugar spike or as much of a, glucose issue, you're still going to get a spike. You're still going to have the problems. You're still going to get the inflammatory issues, and you're still not eating nutrient dense food that makes you thrive. So I hate to say it, but it's a pipe dream, hoping that somehow we can magically make potatoes and pasta and rice and bread and all that stuff good for us. You're not going to. You're just not going to. You might be able to make it slightly less bad, but it's not going to be the miraculous thing that everyone wants it to be. It's just, you cannot change what nature and science is. It's just what it is.
Fact.
So, great point, John. John Long says, I love the channel so far, but I have to say, I think we need more Mel content. I have a golden, a Chihuahua, and a Rottweiler. Ooh. That is quite the combination, John.
You got a full house.
You can see mine. You can see mine back there being lazy on the futon. She's like, no, I don't want to get up.
She's like, guys, I'm sleeping.
Look at her side-eyeing. Look at her side-eyeing you. Like, why are you bothering me?
How do you feel about more Mel content? You think you could film some videos, get up and do something today? Maybe.
That dog is not going to get up and put any effort into anything.
We could do more Mel content, but you got to get her to get up and do something.
That's right.
She likes to eat and sleep.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Nancy Tanner is here. Says, good morning, everyone. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
And there is the lovely Rebecca. She is here. Says, hi. Hey, y'all. Coach Rebecca from Dr. Barry's group is a lovely, wonderful lady, and she has a very cool keto. In fact, it's sitting right here.
Look at that.
She has a ketogenic workbook and a keto companion 3-month planner book that you can go find on Amazon. Very, very cool. If you're interested in something like that to help you plan out and go along with planning and sort of following your keto way of eating, she has a very cool resource there for you.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Look who decided to make an appearance.
Mel content for you guys.
Content right
Mel
there.
content for you guys right there.
Right there.
There it is.
She's like, all right, I'm here. Yes.
Goodness. Rebecca says she had a few minutes, thought she would drop by. Well, thank you so much for dropping by, Rebecca. Carla says, when was your beginning? I'm new to you guys and loving your info and recipes. This is a great question.
Yes.
So the first time that we did any of this was, so we did keto first, and that was in the beginning of 2021. As the pandemic was carrying on through 2020 and into 2021, we had lost everything.
Yep.
And the only thing we had was hopefully the ability to have our health, and we really needed to work on it. And we had gotten jobs and we were struggling, and it was like everything's going on credit cards, trying not to end up on the streets as it is. So we may as well put the food on there too. And so we started keto for the first time in 2021, and we had good results. And then I decided to try carnivore as we were getting ready to get married. And I just was like, oh, I'm just going to use carnivore temporarily, try to lose a little extra weight for wedding photos. That was my only goal. And I had this incredible mental awakening. More info coming on that in the future for you guys. I had this incredible mental awakening. And so I decided I was going to do carnivore. So we got married. And after we got married, I just kind of let myself start, well, I'm going to have some of this, and I'm going to have some of that, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And it got real loose. And I never dealt with my carb addiction. So I went back off the rails, and Ash, because I'm the one that cooks everything, ended up eating a bunch of the carby junk that I was making. And so we went back to a standard American diet, and I gained a bunch of weight back. And so then we got back on track at the beginning of, let's see, it would have been just a little over 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little over 2 years ago. It was like January
Mhm.
of 23, I guess, because it would have been 23 and 24 because we're into 25 now.
Yeah.
So it was like January of 2023 that we got back on track. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And I'm not as strict as I was when I did this the first time. That's why I create recipes. I've had a few cheat meals. So I did the first year, 365 days, no cheat meals, carnivore all the way through. I documented that with my vlog on my channel. That's what started my whole channel here before I was doing a bunch of recipes. And I did that for the support from the community and to try to inspire other people and all this stuff. So that is all documented for a year on there. Then I was able to loosen up a little bit. And sometimes I have a few keto things. Mostly I'm carnivore. I've had a few cheat meals from here, from here and there at different times. But for the most part, I am carnivore and then occasionally have keto stuff. And that's what I do now. And I'm about 130 pounds down from where I started at the beginning of all of this before we did keto the first time. And I've still got extra weight to lose, but we're doing it. We're working on it. And I'm not forcing it to happen as fast as I can. I'm letting my body do it little by little. And there's other things health-wise going on with me that are more important than just the weight loss, which is why I care about the weight loss, but it's not my main focus on a daily basis. Again, more info coming hopefully in the next few months for you guys about that. That's all I'm going to say about it, but we're looking into some stuff. So I've lost about 130 pounds and fixed depression, anxiety, all these different kinds of things, skin issues. I mean, there's a long laundry list of things that have gone away for me. And you've lost about 100 pounds.
Well, if we're updating, because I actually had a weight stall for almost 8 months and then I lost it. So it updated, I've lost 114 pounds. And then I basically do more keto, but then there are weeks, days, times where I'm totally carnivore. So I do the Ash diet. Is what I call it.
And Ash is really into kind of understanding and growing and learning more about like female hormones, like
women's hormones, how our bodies react differently than a man's, especially on like a low carb diet. So that's something that has really benefited me in my health journey. I quit drinking as a result of keto. That was probably the biggest blessing I got. Just realizing the effects that alcohol had on my body that I did not know. But yeah, so we've lost a lot of weight, anxiety, depression, all that gone, mental clarity. It's really changed our life, but we're so glad that you guys are here. I love, is that 3 new people here this morning?
3 new people.
That just makes me so happy that you guys are here. And thank you for just the great questions though too. We have such a great group that joins us on Mondays, but anytime I feel like we get new people and we're able to meet you guys and share our story, I think that's just incredible. So we are so glad that you are here, Carla, and thank you for the great question.
Yeah, it's a wonderful question. So, and more info, like I said, about all those things we're talking about and that I'm hinting at, more info coming.
Got a lot going on here, guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Good stuff, though. Great stuff, yeah.
Let's see. Nighthawk Predator says, I just ordered the egg white powder you suggested. I'm excited to get it and make your white bread. My wife is kind of nervous about the meat-only diet already, and it's only been 4 days. Totally understand. So if you have any trouble, reach out to me. And if you guys are struggling about like this whole like meat-only diet vibe, like let me know. I've got a bunch of recipes, and I promise if you do this and you stick with it, you will find so much freedom. It looks very scary on the outside because it's so different than what we've been taught our whole lives. But when you get into it, it actually makes a huge impact and you start to see things in a completely different way. And here's the thing too, your wife being nervous about meat only, that can have a lot of different elements to it. So I'll let Ash tell you why she does not do carnivore all the time. And that might be something for your wife to consider. Not saying she shouldn't be carnivore, because women can absolutely be carnivore. But if they feel like maybe they need stuff that's not always carnivore, there might be reasons for that.
Yeah, there is.
So I'm going to put Ash on the spot.
He just totally threw me.
Yes, I'm going to throw her. I'm going to throw her under the bus right now, and let her tell you though. Why is it important though that there are some weeks you're basically carnivore, and then sometimes you're not, and why is that?
Yeah, well, I think for starters, I think you just have to understand. Like, I don't know, clearly how old your wife is, or where she's at, but basically, men hormonally go through a cycle every 15 minutes, and so men are very, very constant, and, they just are always the same. And that's an amazing, wonderful thing. Whereas women are constantly changing. And, we go through our cycle, which is 28 to 32 days. And so every week, it's like our body is in a different phase. And so depending on what phase you're in, sometimes as a woman, depending on your age and, whatnot, you may need things. So things that I do, for example, is I eat a lot of fat. So I would suggest for your wife, especially, the more butter that she can put in her diet, the better. There's some great resources. Dr. Elizabeth Bright.
Yep.
Had some great videos, interviews with Dr. Barry. Check it out. But yeah, so for me, that's why I don't like to get caught up in the dogmatic. Are you keto? Are you carnivore? Are you whatever? I just do the ASH diet. And what I mean by that is I have experimented to figure out these are the foods that work for me. And then here is my cycle as a woman. And so that's why, sometimes I fast and sometimes I do carnivore. And then sometimes, depending on my cycle and where I'm at, I know that maybe my body needs a touch more glucose. So then I have things like veggies and I have things like berries. And when I started to do that, my body became way less stressed out and trying to create the things that it needed. And that's when I broke a weight stall. And I have, completely fixed like a lot of hormone issues and all kinds of different things. But women's bodies are very, very different than men's. And I think the idea of starting a carnivore diet for a woman is actually kind of odd, because I think a lot of men are like, you mean I get to eat steak? That's awesome. And sure, some of us women after doing it may feel that way too, but it's just a very different thing. So I would suggest if your wife tries carnivore and if she runs into issues or problems or questions or whatever, like, please do not hesitate to reach out. Again, come to the live streams, leave a comment on a video. If it's something more private that she wants to talk about, join the private community and she can message me on there and I can walk her through. But
several women in there that kind of all support each other. Ash has talked with it, go through various ways of trying to deal with different things. Yeah.
Well, and it's just, every woman's different. Everyone's body is different. But, I think for women, there's just certain things hormonally we have to take into effect and, do what is good for you. And it all depends on you, your body, your, where you're at and whatnot. But, we're here to help if she has questions. But I've helped some women, I would start them out basically on keto and they felt so good. Then they went straight to carnivore, really strict. I mean, they just dove in and they do great and they have no problems. But
I think it's important to note that if she tries carnivore and she does really well, excellent. And if she's struggling with it and needs to lean back towards keto a little, or she wants to use more recipes or whatever, that's not a failure.
It's not a failure.
That's figuring out how it works best for her.
And I did carnivore for 30 days.
Before we knew all this,
because I had done keto for years and I had lost all this weight and I felt really great. But a lot of people were asking like, oh, well, why don't you do carnivore? And so we documented on the channel and I did really well the first 2 weeks. And then the last 2 weeks, I thought I was going to die. I felt terrible. And I started to have all these issues. And so I kind of had to stop and kind of go back to doing keto. And basically felt like a big failure, truthfully, especially when your husband's a YouTuber and you're supposed to do carnivore and you're supposed to, do all this. It's like, well, man, why didn't my body react this way? And so through hours of rabbit holes and research and stuff, I was able to kind of discover basically how my body works and hormonally what was going on. And so I've, come up with my own plan, the ASH diet, and this is what I do and how it works. So just know she's not a failure. She may have a harder time. Doesn't mean she's, doing anything wrong, but just reach out and we're here to, help as much as we can. And there's also lots of great ladies here who I know can give great advice, who have done keto and or carnivore and kind of experienced a lot of the same thing that can, jump in and give guidance. So here for support.
You guys are at the right place. I'm so glad that you're doing this, and tell your wife she's not wrong for being nervous. That's okay. I was nervous when I did carnivore the first time. I mean, it's weird.
Well, and we joke about it all the time, but like when Chris came to me and told me basically this entire idea of like, I'm going to do carnivore, I'm just going to eat meat, and I'm like, can you do that? Will you live? Is that like a cult? Like, like what is that? So, I mean, it's a very weird idea, especially if you're new to it. So totally get it.
John says, celebrate dance for the non-scale victories. Love
come on
it.
Now.
Patricia says, I'd settle for a cookbook.
Well,
I'm working on that too. So
do it.
In fact, we have a meeting about that subject this week.
We do. I believe tomorrow morning.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Very exciting stuff.
Let's see. Cindy makes a good point. Says some people cannot do meat only and it'd be sustainable for them. Any aspect of PhD would be better than the alternative sad way of eating. Absolutely. And that's the thing. Try carnivore, and then just like we were saying, you've got to flex back the other way a little. Like, she'll figure out what works best for her, and you will too. And we're just here to support you, whatever that looks like. So I think it's really cool that you guys are in the beginning of this journey and starting to test it out and starting to figure it out. It's great. Yeah.
We're excited for you because it's literally changed all of our lives. Chris and I, and also everyone in the chat that, has been doing this for even any amount of time. So it's very exciting.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see. Carrie says, when I was talking to the person from Combined Arms, they soon get some food to help me. I told them I do carnivore, told them what it was and how it's helped my mental state. And she said, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. Spreading the knowledge about carnivore. Nancy says, my husband and I both have it now, praying we get over it soon as I need to go see my mom as she was just in the hospital.
Oh,
I'm
Nancy,
so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Hope you guys get to feeling better really quickly.
Yeah.
John says they're expecting a foot of snow tomorrow in Joplin. Woo! Wow.
That's a lot of snow.
That's a lot of snow.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Nighthawk Predator says to Cindy, thanks. She was never a veggie person, but she's Italian, is used to pastas and breads, etc. I definitely have to go slow with her, but variety, I think, is key here. Do you think? Yes. I do think some variety will be key at the beginning for her. If that's the thing she's really nervous about, over time, you kind of learn to not feel that way. But this is one of those things. There's physiological issues, and then there's psychological issues when it comes to our food. And so if you are used to having all of these things and you just change overnight, it's not that physiologically you're not getting what you need. Of course you are. But psychologically, how do you deal with like this whole thing that has been so ingrained in your identity for your entire life just being gone? That's why I make the recipes that I do. It's not that I even think recipes are the most ideal way of eating carnivore, but you can do it and still have options that make you feel psychologically like you're not being so totally weirdly different overnight.
Yeah.
You can transition in, and maybe you stick with those recipes because you feel great and you're fine. Maybe eventually you don't even use those recipes ever or very often. I only use recipes when I'm making videos or when I'm doing our Tuesday night backstage with Chris cooking stuff. Like for the most part, I'm making like today. We're filming a video today, but it's not like a main course. I have steaks in my sous vide.
Yeah.
Like tonight we would be eating steaks. I would make a veggie for her and eggs for me if we weren't filming a video. Like that's what I eat normally. But the recipes every now and then are fun and they keep us feeling stable. Like we can have some cool things. It's, whatever. It's a psychological thing. It's not a physiological thing. So I think some variety for her, especially if she's Italian and likes the pastas and the breads, the pasta and bread type recipes.
Yeah.
Having a little bit of that from time to time, every now and then, that just makes you feel like it's not so weird.
Yeah.
It really does. So I think that would probably be a really good thing. And I think as you guys start to feel better and you see the results of this, you start to recognize why it's worth doing it, because you have to get kind of on the other side of that a little bit before you can really understand clearly. So it's a process, and we're here to support you guys. So whatever we can do to support you, let us know. Reese's Cluttered Kitchen is here, says, my hubby has some bug, has had it for about 5 days now. I'm trying not to get it, starting to feel a bit weird. We will see. Well, Risa, hope you do not get it. And if you do, we hope for quick healing for you, praying for that. So just try to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Let's see. Nighthawk says, for example, she's never been thrilled by steaks. Oh, geez, steak is so important in this diet. Yeah. I mean, red meat is really good for you, but you can do carnivore and never eat a bite of red meat. Now, is that the ultimate nutrient density version? Maybe not, but there are people that do chicken and fish because they don't like red meat, or they have alpha-gal and they can't eat red meat.
Yeah.
Like you can do carnivore fine without red meat. Also, we only get steaks when they're on sale. I eat cheap ground beef patties.
Mm-hmm.
We both do regularly. You don't have to eat steak every day. You don't ever have to eat steak if you don't want to.
Yeah. Also, just my opinion as someone who doesn't really cook, but understanding maybe like the hormonal, hey, I'm not sure of this. Hey, I don't like steaks. Like, let's start kind of adding all this together. Maybe you could come up and feel free to share if it's helpful. What are some foods that she does like? Like, does she like bacon? Does she like chicken? Yeah. Does she like fish?
Eggs.
Does she like
pork?
What are the foods that she does like? And then let's maybe look at some recipes or things that you can make, because those are going to be foods that she does like.
Yep.
But the other thing is, like, I used not to be super crazy into steak or a lot of these things either. And then as I started to up my fat intake basically and eat lots of butter, settled out my hormones, well, then I crave steak like no one's business. I crave salmon. I crave all of these different things. So it may be just like a learning curve, but to get her there and to not make her feel like, oh, I hate this and I don't want to do it, because then she's not going to want to do it.
Right.
And also she may have like meat inversion and like all this. But like, for example, like Chris's pasta, which is made out of chicken, delicious. Like that would be a great thing you could make for her.
That with Alfredo sauce on it. And like if she likes something like Italian sausage, I mean, she's Italian.
Yeah.
Italian sausages that are as clean as you can possibly find. Do carnivore pasta with Alfredo sauce and put some Italian sausage on it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things we make.
Right.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's super
and it's
good.
high fat.
But maybe let's find foods that she does like and not try to make her be like, let's just eat a steak, because she's clearly not there right now. And so let's set her up to succeed.
I'm also going to say this, and I might start a little bit of a headbutting thing going on between people, but I'm going to stir the pot a little bit. Okay. I love everyone in the keto and carnivore space. I really do. But I'm going to tell you guys, there are some creators out there, and I don't think they mean to do what they do sometimes, but for the shock value that gets them money and views on YouTube, they will do things like, you can only eat ribeye steaks for 45 days and it'll change your life. Like, okay, I get it. Yeah, you can do that. But what ends up happening is there are people that are very dogmatic, that are creators, that have huge followings, and then people latch on to that, and then they push the dogmatic idea. And somewhere along the line, this whole idea has gotten to this point of, if you don't go to the far extreme end of carnivore, well, then it's wrong. And there is an element of the carnivore community that drives me up a wall that will beat people up. Like, I mean, I've literally had people in my comment section like, well, that wasn't a locally raised, grass-fed ground beef patty or ribeye steak that you're eating, so you're not even a real carnivore. Like, I've literally had people tell me, because the steak that I got, which how they know that it's not grass-fed or locally raised, I don't know, because it's like, it's a steak on a plate, but whatever. Because it's not locally raised, that I bought from a farmer directly, that was grass-fed, grass-finished all the way through, somehow I'm not carnivore. The asinine attitude that is, when it's like, okay, most of the world struggles to afford things like that. Okay, we can't beat ourselves up if we're not getting it just perfect every single time, and especially at the beginning. And Nighthawk, I have a feeling, as you guys are brand new to this and you're seeing this, that stuff probably pops up in your social media feeds as you're researching this, because those kinds of videos and those kinds of communities, they just get a lot of attention because it's inflammatory. Like, there's people arguing, yes, it is this way. No, it's not this way. And so it causes the algorithm to push that to the top a lot. You guys don't have to be that way, especially at the beginning. I mean, you may find that eventually you feel best eating grass-fed steaks every day. If you're Dr. Sean Baker and you're like this elite athlete and you got the money that he can afford to have these giant ribeye steaks, that's what makes him happy and that's what makes him feel good. I think that's great. But you don't have to start there, and don't take on the pressure of the community, that little piece of the community that is going to beat you up if it's not grass-fed, grass-finished, eat steaks every day. I mean, I've literally had people tell me that eating ground beef is not good for you, because it's easier to eat more ground beef than if you eat the whole steak, because if you're not chewing it, then somehow that's making it not proper for you to eat. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, the fact that the meat was ground up somehow magically makes it not good for me anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, it's insanity. So don't let yourselves be snowed and be sucked into the craziness that some communities that follow some of the really wild creators out there will suck you into and judge you for not doing it right. Okay. Carnivore is about putting good things in your body, nutrient dense foods, animal based, staying away from the inflammatory plants, use spices and dairy as your body can tolerate. Maybe you go a little more keto from time to time because your body can handle it. Maybe you can't because that really bothers you. There's certain veggies I refuse to eat because they bother me. There's some things that now and then, once every 2 or 3 weeks, I might have something keto because those veggies don't bother me. Or if it does, it's very minimal and it's just, I'm fine with it. But if you get super like, I'm going to beat my head against the wall dogmatic about it, it makes this 100 times harder to do. So if you guys don't want to eat steak, don't eat steak. If you can't afford steak, don't try to buy steak. Don't take out a bank loan to eat this thing that somebody else online says you're supposed to eat.
Yeah. I also think it, here, can I stir the pot now?
Go for it. Stir it.
Great. This really pisses me off. It really gets under my skin. And so I'm just going to
We're not upset at you, Nighthawk.
No.
We're upset at the creators and the communities that are very loud and dogmatic that create these kinds of feelings that then permeate the community. That's who we're upset with.
I just think, yes, absolutely. I think, though, that this is one of the things that it just kind of makes me sad for people that are new, though. And it's like, yeah, steak is, an important part and whatever. Okay. But Dr. Berry talks about the proper human diet as a spectrum, right? And so a spectrum means there's different places, right? You could be keto,
you can go from vegetarian keto all the way to meat, salt, water, strict carnivore.
It's a total spectrum. And so instead of, as a community, telling people like, okay, so here's the spectrum. And so let's figure out what works for you right now with where you're at and like what is going to make you the most successful right now. Let's figure out where you should be on the spectrum. Instead, we basically just tell people, well, you have to eat steak and meat, salt, water is the ultimate. So if you're not doing meat, salt, water, well, then you're not doing it the ultimate way. And so then therefore it's wrong.
Right.
So that's just kind of the I guess the thing that is preached the most in the carnivore community. So it's not, let's figure out what you need and where you need to be at on the spectrum. It's just eat meat, salt, water.
And it's not even a majority of the community. It's a minority of the community, but they're a really loud, obnoxious minority.
Yeah.
And that's why we all hear it so much, which is why Ash and I stand against that so much.
Yeah. And well, and I think this is a good example though, but it's like, okay, so if your wife doesn't like steak, or if maybe she's trying to do carnivore, but struggling, okay, well, maybe, give her a salad, is that going to make her happy? Maybe make the pasta, maybe whatever. But it's like, those are still on the proper human diet spectrum. They're whole foods, they're low carb, but it's like, just figure out what it is that she needs for where she's at right now to make her succeed. And if she can't eat a steak every meal, well, then that's okay. She's not failing, and let's not make her feel bad about it. Let's just figure out where then she needs to go on the spectrum.
Absolutely.
So that's all we're saying. But
absolutely.
Yeah. I help a lot of ladies like transition from standard American diet onto keto and or carnivore. And I get this a lot though, where a lot of them are like, I do not like steak, or I do not like this, or this idea sounds crazy to me. And so it's,
when Ash and I met, like she said, she really didn't like steak.
Yeah.
Like first of all, I don't know if she had ever had a steak really cooked properly.
No, probably not. But that's another great thing.
So that's a whole other thing. But like, even when I would make steaks, she used to get them medium well, and it would break my heart. We finally got her to where she would eat them medium, but it was a very rare thing. Then I started fixing things medium rare, and I finally got her to start eating some of it. And she was like, oh, actually, this is a lot better. And so that helped. But she still wasn't super into steak, because you have to remember, we were still standard American diet at that point. And it wasn't until we went keto, and she then went even meat heavy keto, where she was not carnivore, but she was leaning that direction. Suddenly she started getting a lot more red meat in her diet. And she realized, oh, when I eat, whether it's steak or beef patties or any of that, she wasn't like real huge on just lots of red meat. When we went that direction, her tastes really changed. And then suddenly she felt really good eating lots of red meat. And so now, like I told her, I have these dry brined ribeye steaks that are in sous vide. And she was like, what are we having today? And I told her we're going to film this video. And then I said, to go along with the recipe I'm filming today, we have ribeye steaks. And she was like, oh, I love those ribeyes. Like, she was so excited. She was literally, she was like, marry me. Right. So, but it took her time for her tastes to change to get there.
There's a lady that I've been helping who was standard American diet, and she had a lot of arguments for me at first, like, well, I don't want to give up my soda, and I don't want to give up this, and I don't, and it's like, okay, I get it, but like, let's just keep it real. So I had told her basically, let's start with 100 carbs and let's back it down. And we went through this whole thing. She did basically super loose keto for 2 weeks and upped her fat. She was taking butter and all this stuff. She literally felt so good. She went straight carnivore, and she went from, I don't want to eat a steak, I don't like this, I'm not sure about this, to full on strict carnivore. And she's still doing it. And she's loving it. She's lost a bunch of weight. She's feeling great.
And your brain can modify and change.
It can.
Once, especially, it realizes there's nothing to be afraid of. But that psychology of that can be hard. You just
got to get over the hurdle.
Yeah,
the jump.
That can be hard. And I mean, and look, you're going to have your own struggles along with this. No one ever does this and just doesn't struggle with anything. We're human beings. Yeah. There's going to be some element of some point you're going to be like, well, that's something that was unexpected that I didn't think I'd struggle with. You guys support each other and let us support you, because that's why we're here. We're here to help you guys and to support you and to celebrate with you when you succeed. And it's a journey. It's not a light switch that you just flick overnight. Yeah. It's just not. And it sounds like you guys are really trying to do this right. And I think that's really cool. The fact that you're here in the comment section when you're this new to doing this, that's really important. Yeah, that's a great thing. And that's why I'm telling you guys, be careful about letting too much of that loud, dogmatic community stuff infiltrate your thought processes about this, because it is very hard. There's very few people in the world, I think, that are self-disciplined enough naturally to go standard American diet to that ultimate eat steak and salt and water every day thing and be okay with that. Like, you might do it for a while and you can muscle your way through it, but eventually, if your psychology breaks, you fly off the rails back the other direction, because there's doing something because you can force yourself to, and then there's doing something because you're changing your lifestyle. Right. It's two different things. Right. So we're here to help you. Please let us know how we can help you. And very happy to support you in any way that we can. Absolutely. So I think you guys are doing great. And I think your wife will do really well. Yeah. She just needs some support, and maybe she'll just have to be a little more patient with her transition into carnivore. And that's okay. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. Jeff says, defrosting a turkey to try deboning and dry brine. We'll be following your video. Thanks for that. I've been using dry brine on all of my beef. Love it, Jeff. That's awesome, man. That turkey is the best. It's really, really good. It is the best. If you guys haven't seen, I have a video where I've got several videos of deboning poultry where it stays like as a whole bird, but there's no bones in it. But I did it with turkey for our Thanksgiving turkey. Deboned an entire turkey, and then I air fried it. Yeah. And it was incredible. Incredible. So Juju says, I'm itching for some chicken noodle pasta salad. I'm out of noodles. Sigh, first world problems. So for Nighthawk, I have a cold pasta salad made with my carnivore pasta noodles. My butter mayo is a base for the sauce. And then I put a bunch of Italian meats in there, and I did an Italian pasta salad. It's amazing. Yeah. It's one of the best pasta salads I've ever had, and it's not even pasta. Yeah. That might be something your wife would like, something like that. Like, that's really cool ways of doing things that are carnivore, maybe dirty carnivore with the spices, but whatever. Yeah. But that's the kind of stuff where it's like, hey, this is really nice. Like, maybe she'll like stuff like that. So those kinds of things. Cindy says, variety is good. Have you tried Chris's pasta recipe? It is really good. Also, I like healthy noodles product to get from Costco better than the alternative. Yeah. So, yeah. And that's the thing. Maybe you find things like that that are helpful. Stephen Stone is here. Good morning, my friend. What's up, Stephen? Stephen is another one of our amazing community members. Awesome. Nighthawk says, no, we're only 4 days into this diet, just getting started. Perfect. Oh, wow. So you guys are trying to do it right from the very beginning, which is awesome. Good on you guys. It's awesome. Yep. John says, my only problem with eggs at the moment is the price. Yeah, me too. Believe me, we just went and bought eggs yesterday, and I wanted to. I jumped. I wanted to swing at somebody. Yeah. It's crazy. My mom says, thanks for the prayers, Sandy. Let's see what else we got going on. PJ, Equine Lady, is here. Gonna make the bread today. Loved the waffles. Excellent, PJ.
Awesome.
Well, like I said, lean heavy on that egg white powder the first time. Like, you don't have to like double it or anything, but maybe just add like an extra tablespoon the first time.
Yeah.
Just lean a little heavy on it, and then that way you kind of figure out like, okay, what does that do? And then you can kind of back it off in the future as you get like better and better at it. It makes it easier. So it took me a year to get that right. So, if you guys have to try a few times, don't feel bad. Oh, there is Ken Pattinson. He says, good morning to you all. You two are awesome. Ken, you and Stacy are awesome.
Yes, you guys are super cool.
Yes, we love you guys.
Yeah.
Caleb says, guess I was lucky. I got it on the first try. Hey, there you go.
Awesome.
And that's awesome, man. I definitely didn't get it on the first try, so good on you.
That's really great.
Let's see who else is here. So Nighthawk says, so should I measure the powder by weight to be exact or tablespoons? Nighthawk, here's what I would do. I would do it by the tablespoon, because the gram thing is so weird with egg white powder, because some of them are so much more dense than others. And they work. It is so not like baking from a standard American diet standpoint. So I would use tablespoons, and just lean a little heavy on it, and just kind of plan that it's like, it might take a few times to get it to exactly how you guys like it. Just if you struggle with it, message me. I'm more than happy to help you. I mean, you can email me, info@chriscookingnashville.com. Send me pictures. If like it doesn't work, just send me the pictures and be like, what's going on? And I will do everything I can to help you. So we are happy to help. And Nighthawk says, you all are awesome. Thank you. Oh, you are more than welcome. We have a fantastic community here, Nighthawk, and we are here to help you and do whatever we can to help you be successful, because we needed help.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't know any of this stuff.
We've said it many times before, but basically the whole reason why this channel got started, why Chris started making recipes, like all this stuff, is we felt like we needed a support system and we didn't have it. And so we're just trying to basically show up and help other people, so that way you guys maybe don't have to go through what we did. And it's just kind of what we're blessed to be able to do, and just want to help you and want you to succeed. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Steven Stone says, if more support is needed, add more egg white powder. It works. Yes.
Yeah.
If it's sinking and falling, any of my egg white products, if they're not holding together, or they sink, or they're squishy, or they're wet, or any of that, the answer is always add a little more egg white powder. And if you eat it and it's like styrofoam or memory foam, and you go because you're trying to swallow it with a half gallon of water, back off on the egg white powder. That's all you got to do.
I'll tell you what, though, when you get that recipe right, especially for Nighthawk, like for your wife, oh my God, it's so good. And here's the thing, you could do like garlic bread, you could do Texas toast, you can make her a grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Like it toasts, the bread toasts.
Oh, you know what? Since she's Italian.
Yeah.
So I did crostinis for your mom.
Oh, yeah.
I have a crostini video where I took that recipe, I modified it just slightly, and then I baked it a different way, and I used a dehydrator, and I turned it into crispy crostini. And like, you could do that, and you could do, like, I mean, a pate would go on that really well. You could, if she's doing a slightly more keto thing, I mean, you could do like olive oil, as long as you don't cook it to a smoke point, is as the plant oils go, that's actually one of the better ones.
Right.
You could do olive oil and some vinegar. I mean,
there's options,
put some like sliced Italian meats on that, and like brush it with a little bit of that olive oil and vinegar mixture. I mean, you want to talk about like fantastic Italian food.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many options. And even if it's not like real strict, perfect carnivore, maybe it's more ketovore, but leaning towards carnivore. If that's what makes her successful, awesome.
Yeah. Rather have that than go off the rails or go back to other stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. And come join us on Backstage with Chris Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. We're on Central Time. So it's 6 p.m. our time in Nashville. I don't know where you guys are time-wise comparatively, but 6 p.m. Central Time. We live stream. I'm cooking. Come ask questions. You want ideas for recipes? Be like, hey, what could I do with blah, blah, blah? Like, come find us. We'd be happy to help.
What are you making tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, I am doing a very high-protein cheeseburger soup.
I approve that
very
message.
Thick, creamy, textured, tasty, but high-protein cheeseburger soup. And it's not like a bunch of cream and a bunch of water and then all that to make the soup base. it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Juju says, Chris, thanks for talking to me through dehydrator features this week. Is it Friday yet? I'll be grabbing some shabu shabu at Costco for its maiden voyage. I love it, Juju. I'm glad you picked that up. I think you're going to really enjoy it.
It's going to be good stuff.
Especially because wait until you see the recipe I've got coming out soon where I'm using the dehydrator for the first step. You're going to like that.
Just going to like it a lot.
Cindy says, all will be good. So glad you're on this path now. I've been on PhD for 4.5 years now. Yep. That's so cool. That's the deal, Nighthawk. We got people just like Cindy here who are like, I've been there, I've done that, and here I am 4.5 years later. So we're all here for you to see you succeed, my friend. And Never Too Much Coffee says, I love shabu shabu. Yeah, we're working.
That's tasty, man.
Yeah, we're working on a video for you guys for that kind of stuff coming up in the future too.
Yeah.
Carrie says, the one thing that I thought was weird when my great aunt died and I was cleaning the house, I got rid of all the rice, pasta, and canned goods and haven't seen bugs. They must love carbs as well. Yep, there you go. John says, only eat when you're hungry. I wish my brain would let me do that. I think that my tiny gastric sleeve stomach messes with my hunger cues. I wish I found keto before that surgery. Yeah, so here's the deal. Gastric sleeve and gastric bypass and all that kind of stuff totally changes the rules. You have to work with what works for you. And then things like tracking your macros and stuff, that may really matter because you've done something to the way your internal organs are working that is not the way they started out working. And that you're right, John. I think that can definitely mess with you. So
definitely.
But the fact that you have that figured out and you work with what works best for you, that's the best you can do. And that's great. Lacey is here, says, I'm planning a full carnivore week thanks to your recipes. The thought of just steak and eggs for a week was kind of depressing. With your recipes, I have confidence I can do it. Lacey, that's great. And you absolutely can do it.
Yes.
And you know what? Do a carnivore week. And if you feel good, do another carnivore week. And if you feel good, do another carnivore week.
Keep going. Yeah.
And if you keep going and then suddenly you're like, you know, these recipes are awesome, but they're a lot of work, maybe only do recipes here and there. And then maybe do recipes less and less and less. And the next thing you know, you're eating beef patties and eggs 5 days a week, and you're eating recipes once or twice, cutting back on your dairy, and suddenly you're like almost a strict carnivore, and you don't even know how you got there.
It's pretty awesome.
If that's even a goal for you. But I'm just saying, like, just hypothetically speaking, you could totally do that. And that's exactly why my recipes are here. So
yeah, that's so good. Congrats, Lacey. That's amazing.
Yep. And there is my lady Laugh a Lot. Good morning, everybody. Catching up at 2 times. Now, I believe they said it is Andy's birthday.
Yes. Andy, is it your birthday?
Yes.
Happy birthday, my sweet friend.
Yes. Happy birthday to Andy. If that is correct, it is hopefully right. I think I'm remembering that right. But
I know that was so long ago. I feel like that was a while ago.
I know we've been through so many.
I think it's Andy's birthday.
We've been through so many different comments that I'm like totally losing track. But if it is your birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Milady Laugh a Lot. Happy birthday to you.
I like how you said me lady laugh a lot. Like you just can't say.
That's
Andy.
Right. Well, no, like, I have to be difficult about it.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Use the official like YouTube name.
Stacy is here. Good snowy, cold morning from Northwest Ohio. Thank you, Chris, for your positive comment on my Facebook post. Well, Stacy, you're welcome. I'm so sorry that anybody would ever say or treat you in that way, but you are wonderful. We love you.
Was someone mean to you?
Something about like someone if they say that they hate you, that you're just kind of moving on. Something that Stacy seemed to experience. And I was like, if anybody ever hated you, then it's basically hatred that they have for themselves that they can't let sit on themselves. So they're trying to find somewhere else to place it because
it's very true.
Ken and Stacy are amazing people. And they're very sweet.
We've met Stacy and Ken before and they're amazing. So if you hate them, you're crazy.
Yes.
They're the best.
That goes for a lot of you guys here in the community that we have met, that we know. It's like, if anybody hates any of you, like, I understand we can all maybe butt heads about things as people. Like, you can argue. You might not even like somebody. But for anyone in this community that I have met, if someone hates any of you, that is purely self-hatred that they just can't tolerate leaving pointed at themselves where they really want to direct it. So they're just trying to find somewhere else to send it.
Yeah.
That is
totally right there.
That is all that is. Cindy says, yay, Ash. Good to know you have my back.
I got you, Cindy.
But see, she says she loves me anyway.
The key word there is anyway.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
PJ says, Lacey, you can do it. The recipes help indeed. Absolutely, Lacey, you can do it. And if you have questions or need any help, let us know. We're here to support you. Let's see. Amada is here. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hello, Amada.
Hi.
Lynn says, haha, Chris, I was just glad you referred to me as Aunt Lynn and not Grandma Lynn.
Oh, that's funny.
Lynn, you're going to get me in trouble with Diva Cindy. John says, Lacey, don't forget bacon, pork rinds, cheese, all carnivore. You don't have to do only meat and salt, lion diet. That's too extreme for most people. Absolutely. Yep. And things like the bacon, the pork rinds, the cheese, as like the snacky type stuff, when you do carnivore at first, sometimes you feel kind of snacky. And I mean, ideally, we don't want to be snacking. We want to just be eating intense meals. But John is a good example with like the gastric sleeve thing. He might need to snack, you know, and that's fine. And these are great ways to get more snacky type stuff in. And if that's what helps you get through your first week of carnivore, snack away. You can work on not snacking later. Just get used to that. And then it gets so much easier, right? Like this is that thing. The dogmatic part of the community is like, do it all, do it right now. And like, can we do things in steps? Can we not be human beings and like work on a process? Do we have to do it all right now? And if we can't, go jump off a bridge? Like, come on. Crazy. So Lacey, you're going to do great. Caleb says, Carrie also suggested I start doing live streams with Emma. I think it'd be super cool for you and Emma to do some live streams and start reaching out for, you know, the young part of, you know, the young part of the community. I think that's cool. Yeah, that's really, amazing. Really cool. Patricia is talking to Auntie because Auntie's struggling with some things, I think, and says healing takes lots of patience, never seems to go fast enough. I agree. And Auntie, I hope you feel better soon. But this comment also applies to exactly what we were just talking about. Nighthawk, with Lacey, with like all of these things. Guys, healing takes time.
It's a lot of patience.
Take your time. Have patience. It's all you can do. It is all you can do. Lacey makes a good point. There's a lot of mold issues that can come with coffee. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Juju says, Equip sells a clean coffee. Not saying go buy it. It's crazy expensive, but they have a laundry list of things most coffee contains. So if you want a good sciencey list of suspects, go look that up. There you go.
That's awesome.
Rebecca did 27 days without coffee, and when she added it back in, she also added joy back into her life and no other negatives. Absolutely.
Isn't that true? That's awesome.
And Cindy says, be sure you are subbed to the Studios channel. She's trying to get these Mondays on that channel only eventually. Absolutely. And I believe she dropped the link above.
Because Cindy's awesome.
Yes. So if you're on the main channel and you didn't know I have a Studios channel, would love for you to go subscribe there. Terry says, community is so very important. Community is why I'm celebrating a 10-pound loss today.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm in Robin Carnivore's grandma group for ladies, and it's made a significant difference. Absolutely. Rock on, Terry. Great. Congrats on 10 pounds. While we have this comment here, let me talk about this whole celebrating success thing.
Sure.
Guys, you are never going to be successful if the only thing you ever focus on, and I'm not talking just diet, I'm talking anything in life. You are never going to be successful if the only thing you think about is all of the things you have not yet achieved. If you do not celebrate the milestones along the way, along the journey, you will never have the emotional energy to make it to the success at the end. You won't. And the thing is, I think part of this is because of the fact that success in whatever you're trying to do, be it your health journey, your weight loss, building a business, growing a career as a musician, like any of these things, succeeding and achieving it is not a singular point. There is not going to be a day that I wake up and I stand on the scale and I see a certain number and I go to the doctor and I have blood tests done and I see certain things where I go, I've arrived. That's the end. Doesn't work that way. There is no singular point that is success. There is an overarching belief about where you are in your life, that you have things under control and you are in the process of succeeding. Succeeding is a ongoing thing. It is not a point you arrive at. It is a part of your journey you get to live in for the rest of your journey.
Mm-hmm.
That is what success is. It is not a singular moment in time. It is a experience that you get to enjoy for the remainder of your days. So if you're going to get to an element of success that attaches itself to the remainder of your journey, you have to see the waypoints leading you to more and more and more and more of it. Success is not one singular goal. It is a list of goals that you continue to achieve on and on and on. And the more of them you achieve, the bigger the next one becomes.
Yeah.
Every time you achieve something, you have a new goal that is now bigger and more extravagant and more wild and more whatever than the one that you just achieved.
Mm-hmm.
So you continue to achieve more and more and more things as you go further. So how do you keep the emotional energy built up in your battery, in your emotional battery? How do you keep that charged enough to keep going? Every time you hit a waypoint, you celebrate it. So my question for you guys today is, who is celebrating your success? Are you celebrating your success? You should be. Are you celebrating your success? If you say yes to that, then my very next question is, great. Are there people around you celebrating your success with you? Because you can sit in a room and look at yourself in the mirror and go, you're great, you're succeeding all day long. But we're human beings. We're social creatures. You can't do that for the rest of your life and expect to maintain some level of confidence and some level of discipline and dedication that's going to carry you through to the end. This is why community matters. This is why I created this community down here, because I need it just as much as everybody else does. I can't succeed if I don't have people in my corner helping me.
Mm.
I've got Ash, I've got my parents, I've got my whole community through Chris Cooking Nashville. I can't do it without those people. And even if I could do it without those people, what's the point?
Mm.
If I'm going to just spend my whole life sitting in a room by myself thinking I'm great and I'm never going to be able to do anything to help anyone else, to celebrate with anyone else, to enjoy the fruits of that labor, to where I get to now live a full life, the full lived experience in communion with the people that matter to me, why do the work? I already know what it's like to lay in bed feeling depressed and anxious, eating a frozen pizza or 5, watching something on Netflix because I don't have the energy and the desire to get out of bed and do anything with my life. I know what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there. Ash can tell you I've been there because she watched me do it. I had nothing going on in my life. If I'm not going to celebrate the things that I'm doing that are succeeding with the people that matter to me, I may as well go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm just on my own and there's no celebration and there's no joy and there's no happiness and there's no recharging my emotional battery related to my ability to succeed at these things and take care of myself and grow towards my ultimate potential, then why would I do the work? And you may have never thought about it that way, but I'm here to tell you, if you're not thinking of it that way, you should start thinking of it that way. Because if you start finding the people around you to help you celebrate your success and you prioritize celebrating your success, you'll have a lot more dedication and energy. No, not thumbs down. I don't know what my phone is seeing. No, not thumbs down. Thumbs up. You will have a lot more energy. There we go. You'll have a lot more energy and a lot more dedication and a lot more stamina to continue pursuing the next layer of your success. You'll be able to do it further and faster and more dedicated. And you're going to achieve bigger and better things every time because you're celebrating all of the milestones that get you from one point to another.
Mm-hmm.
You have to celebrate these things. That's what keeps you believing in yourself. And if you have other people around you who are celebrating with you, it makes it a lot easier to believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. You guys have to believe in yourself, because you can't do this if you think you're a failure and you think you're not doing it right. And this is why we stand up against the dogma in the community. We're not here to beat people up. We don't tear people down for what they haven't achieved yet. They're not a good enough carnivore. They're not skinny enough yet. They're not losing fast enough. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. Screw that. Screw that. And Screw off to the people that think that their job in life is to come along and kick people who are trying to get back up.
Amen. Hallelujah.
It's ridiculous. It's worthless. We don't put up with that crap. And I'll tell people right to their face that they're being a piece of trash when they do that to people. I'm kind of known for going in my comment section and telling a few people off when they try to treat people that way, right? And I don't read my own mail anymore, and so I really try not to get, sucked into that anymore. But there was a point when I was first building this community where I got a lot of that stuff. And I really pushed back because there were people who were getting beaten up in my comment section. It doesn't happen much anymore because I've pretty much blocked half of those people, and I think the rest I told off enough that they ran away. But either way, it's like I don't deal with any of that stuff anymore. I just delete the comments, or most of them I don't even see anymore because, we were talking about that whole don't read your own mail thing. I don't see those emails come in. I don't see a lot of those comments come in. I don't even look at it. So that way it's like, okay, you want to waste your time writing something I'm never going to see? Great, go ahead. But I don't deal with that stuff anymore. But I did at one point, and I really pushed back against that because no one deserves to be treated like that. If you have those people around you, you need to walk away from that, and you need to find the people who are celebrating your success. Ash and I will celebrate your success with you. Mm-hmm. Come be a part of the private group. Tell us about your 10-pound weight loss on a live stream, just like Terry. Terry's rocking it right now. That's amazing. Why would 10 pounds not be something to celebrate?
Yeah.
And it's like, and what's so crazy to me is, people are like, well, it's only 10 pounds. What do you mean it's only 10 pounds?
It's a lot of pounds.
You ever picked up a bowling ball? You don't have that on your body anymore? You think that's only a bowling ball that came off your body? I mean, come on. That's fantastic. That's amazing. And it's not about, well, Terry still has to deal with this, and Terry still has that, and Terry hasn't done it. Screw that attitude. Terry lost 10 pounds. That's awesome. Rock on, right? We're going to do another one of those. Hopefully we can get the laser lights going on. Go. Yeah, there we go. My phone's paying attention again. But it's like, that's what matters. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff matters. Celebrate. And so how do we celebrate? Well, first of all, we share it with people that celebrate with us, mm-hmm. and we get excited about it, and we tell people about it, and people are in our corner cheering us on. Okay. That lifts you up and makes you feel good about it. On top of it, what are things that matter to you? Ash and I were sitting here talking about this, and she's like, maybe if you really enjoy reading, you mm-hmm. go get yourself a new book that you've been wanting to read.
Yeah.
I lost 10 pounds. I'm going to go get this book that I've really been wanting. Right? Now, whatever you do when you celebrate, don't celebrate with food.
No.
I've done that in the past when, not with this like keto carnivore stuff, but with milestones of other things in my life. I'm like, woohoo, I achieved this thing. Let's go out and pig out on junk. Don't do that. Yeah. It just drives an addictive tendency. Now what I do is if I do something like I lost this much weight or blah, 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 what I might do now is like, that really, really great cut of meat that I really enjoy. Like I really love getting like a whole beef tenderloin, and I mm-hmm. trim it, and I turn the trimmings into beef tartare, and then I cut the other into filet mignon steaks. Let's go have that for dinner. We're already planning on eating dinner. Let's just go spend the money on the really fancy steak. That I totally get, right? But don't do what I did in the past of, again, not with keto carnivore, but with other achievements in my life. This was really awesome. Let's go pig out on pizza. Don't do that. If you have health achievements in the keto and carnivore world, don't do things that then work against it to celebrate it, right? But find the things you love. Maybe it's a special trip you want to go on, or you want to take a day for yourself, or maybe it's, I've worked out really hard and I've done all this stuff and I've eaten really well and I'm doing all this. I'm going to take an afternoon and I'm going to sit down and binge watch my favorite show. Mm-hmm. And then tomorrow I go back to my workout schedule. Great. If that's the kinds of things you do, awesome. But find the things that matter to you and celebrate yourself, because you deserve to celebrate your successes, and you need people around you who are celebrating it with you. And if you have no one in your life that is celebrating with you, come join our group, be on our live streams, come in our comment section. Ash and I will celebrate with you. Mm-hmm. And I know a bunch of people in our community will as well, but we will celebrate with you mm-hmm. because you deserve being celebrated. Any thoughts?
You preached it, babe. I don't think there's too much to add.
Pass the offering plate.
Pass the offering plate. No, I totally agree. I think too, sometimes it's really easy, not for only for other people, but for ourselves to basically get in this mindset where like, well, it's only 1 pound you lost. It's only a couple inches around your waist that you lost. Look at how much further you have until you hit this ideal, body weight or goal. And I think so sometimes we can actually
look how fat you still are. You're not succeeding.
Yeah. But I think sometimes that's the really tricky thing is whether it's other people around us or whether it's even yourself. I think sometimes we can accomplish little things, even if it's like having, in a week, maybe you have a couple of extra carnivore meals instead of keto meals, or maybe you started taking liver capsules, or you're trying to eat more liver. I mean, there could be so many different things. Maybe you tried going on a walk. Maybe you're trying all these different things though, but we take these little things, which is actually how you get better and you actually make progress is by showing up every single day and choosing to make small but good decisions that put you on the right path, versus like these big things that take time. And so I think it's just important to realize no matter how small that victory may seem, don't beat yourself up. Celebrate it with yourself. Treat yourself when you do something like that. Encourage yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. And then go surround yourself with people who are like, oh my gosh, you lost 2 inches around your waist. That's so awesome. You went on a walk today instead of, taking the bus or whatever. It's like, that is so important. So that's really all I think I'd like to add to that. But really, really good points, babe. Awesome job.
Absolutely. You over here preaching too.
I don't know. Well, I mean, we talked about before too, like it's really like how important your mind is really. Right. You can eat all of the right things and do all of the right things, but your mind is really what dictates how successful you will be at something. Yes. And so it's important where you put your mind, where you put your thoughts, your money, your energy. It's very, very important to guard all that and to keep it, positive and on the right track and celebrating when you're succeeding. And, and then if you're having a rough day and you're not being successful, that's why community is so important. That's when you need to come jump on a live stream. That's when you need to come see us in the private group and you go, hey, I'm really struggling right now. And let us help you. Let us encourage you and let us maybe try to give you advice, tips, tricks that can get you back on track, because we want everyone here to succeed and to have good health and support you.
Absolutely. Love it. Let's see. Jeff Simmons says bulletproof coffee for the win. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Heck yeah. And this is a good point. So Carrie says I did 2.5 years without coffee. I thought I was sensitive. It was also price. I have put it back now. I'm doing fine with the organic Panda massaged coffee, regular coffee, I can tell. So yeah. So Carrie is maybe sensitive not to the coffee, but something that's in the cheaper coffee. You know? So it's, again, everyone's different. You just got to figure out what works for you. So John Long with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, John. Says, as someone with severe allergies, anaphylaxis, thankfully not coffee, keep an eye on it. Part of why I'm doing carnivore is an elimination diet. And that's a great way to use carnivore. Maybe you need to be carnivore. I need to be carnivore at least 90% of the time. She does not need to be carnivore unless she feels like being carnivore, because she handles things better than I do. I know that because I did meat, saltwater carnivore for, I think it was about 45 days the first time I did it. And I slowly introduced other things and I knew which ones I was sensitive to. I did that. And that's why I know which ones bother me and what things don't. And it was interesting. I remember I said in a health vlog one time, I said, such and such doesn't bother me, which is why I use it. I had someone be like, well, how do you know? And I was like, because I did an elimination diet. Like, what do you mean? How do I know? I did the work. That's how I know. Like, you do these things, you know what your body is doing. And if it works for you and makes you feel good, you know you can do it. So John, this is awesome that this is what you're doing. And we're here to support you with it. So if you have questions or just want to chat about it, you know where to find us. And we're very glad you're doing it.
Yeah, so awesome.
Sherry says, wondering if there is a relation with the coffee thing. Caleb has been working out lately, lifting weights. Yeah, could be.
Interesting.
Could be. John says, Cindy, at the time it was the only viable solution. I didn't even think of diet changes as a possible option. And if I didn't do it, I probably wouldn't be here now. Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough, man. And truthfully, I think there's so many medical things that are out there that are solutions that actually make worse problems. And that's why we're fighting against the misinformation and like the bad stuff of the medical system. That's why we try to put this info out there, because we don't want people hurting themselves. You know, Dr. Barry talks about how much he's fighting that all the time.
Yeah.
Cindy says, that is awesome, Terry. Robin is great. Got to spend some time with her last year at Hack Your Health and on a live stream after that on my channel. Absolutely.
Robin's awesome. She's
Robin is great. And Terry is obviously very cool too. Of course, Cindy is great. So
all the cool ladies.
all the cool people.
I love it.
Auntie says, current state of healing, hurts to lay in bed. Quite the sleep issue. Auntie, I'm sorry, Auntie. If there's anything we can do for you, please let us know.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Let's see. Everyone's just talking about different things with coffee, and Caleb saying he can live without it, which is awesome. Juju says, I'm a macro tracker. I just got 25 more grams of fat this week adjusted. Looking forward to unlocking a few more CCN recipes. Very cool.
Awesome.
And see, and so Juju is a good example. This is someone tracking helps. She benefits from tracking. You know, she's talked about that with us before, where it's like, I track all this because it helps me, and like it's made me successful at this, and that's awesome. So if you find that tracking works for you,
then do it.
Great.
Yeah.
Brenda says, I hear all the time most coffee has mold. I have no idea if it's true. It wouldn't surprise me. You know, who knows what's in a lot of the stuff that we have going on, truthfully. Milady Laughlot says, okay, that makes sense. I was on the studio channel and wondering where everyone was. Yes.
She found the party.
Let's see. Evelyn says, she's here. Milady Laughlot says, I'm here.
Andy's here. We can start the party.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Roxanne says, just on the coffee issue, I have MCAS and it can cause food intolerances, and some people can go into anaphylactic shock. Yeah, everybody's different, and different people struggle with things like this. So, you know, you got to know yourself and just do what is best for you.
Absolutely.
Carrie is here, says, hi. Hello, Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
I love Carrie.
She's amazing. She cracks me up.
She always comes in and brings the party.
Always. Always makes me laugh.
Andy says, lol, what a great group of friends.
Aw.
Yes.
Well, you're a great friend, too.
Evelyn says, happy early birthday, Andy.
Woo-hoo.
John says, Sport Protein is the one I just bought with your coupon code. Also, Indigo Neely said that they are the supplier to Judy's. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all if they are. So, yeah, Sport Protein is the one that's the one that I've got downstairs. Yeah. I've got, like, the big bucket of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that should work just fine for you, John.
That's awesome.
Seeing if there's anything else important question-wise or anything here we've missed. Juju says, Now Sports is what I bought in the orange tub in the past. Is junk in it now. Yes, the Now brand has started adding the sunflower lecithin, which I've heard you can still use it, but that it's a lot harder to use to get it to whip up. I've not tried. I've never had any of it that has the sunflower lecithin in it. I would avoid that if at all possible. So
yeah.
Love this. John says, to make pasta, rice, potatoes, fruit, etc. great for you, process them through animals.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Feed them to animals who have the ability to break that down into the fatty meat we all love.
Absolutely.
Evelyn says, Mel. Puppy face. Awesome, Mel. Love. Hi, Mel.
Mel, you've made an appearance. She's back here sleeping again. She's done.
Milady says, wow, didn't know you guys were still newlyweds. Yeah, but we're what, 4 years in now?
Not quite.
Yeah. Not quite 4 years. We're going on 4.
In May, we'll be married for 4 years. We've been together for 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going
I
on
think
7.
about it.
Going on 7. Yeah.
Still, I guess we're still kind of newlyweds. I guess.
We're fairly new.
Yeah. He's not sick of me yet, so we're I think we'll make it to 4 years here in a few months, huh? A couple months shy.
Yep. Cindy says, Mel is such a cutie. She pretty much ignored Max when we were there.
Probably because she was scared of him. She's probably like, I don't want to mess with him.
She's a great big chicken. She probably thought Max would beat her up.
Yeah. Mel doesn't really, yeah.
Mel gets afraid of things like balls of fluff and little kitties and small children.
She's petrified of our vacuum. Like she hides.
Yeah, she's not very brave. Big. She's not very big and tough.
Yeah, she's a lover, not a fighter.
Juju says, I just ordered 2 brands with just egg whites, $1.69 an ounce and $1.75 an ounce. We shall see. I'm not hopefully one will arrive though. Anytime I see only one left in stock, it gets canceled.
Oh, that's always a bummer.
Yeah, that's a pain. Milady says, till you've hit the 10-year mark, you're still in the newlywed
Oh,
stage.
Well, that's good to know.
Well, there we go.
There you go.
Yes. Says, me and Susan are too. We're still like each other. We still like each other, so that's a plus.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's always a good thing if you still like each other.
Yes, that's super sweet.
Roxanne says, congratulations to both of you on the weight loss and all that goes with it. Thank you, Roxanne.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sandra is here, says hello from Florida.
I'm telling you, everyone in Florida is watching.
Yes, good to see you, Sandra.
Yeah.
Caleb says, I don't know what my computer's doing. It's struggling. Caleb says, that's so cool, guys. I've only had a total of about 60 pounds to lose, and I'm halfway there.
That's awesome, man. Good for
awesome.
You.
Good for you.
That's great.
And Lynn says 244 pounds lost between the two of you, Chris and Ash. That is such an accomplishment. Yes.
Thank you.
We have lost a bigger person than I should be in general. And I am not a small guy. So like, I mean, I'm 6 feet. So, you know.
Well, great example though. It's like, we're still both not at our ideal body weight, but
we're working on it.
But all that weight loss plus all of the amazing different things that have come because of it. I mean, it's just awesome. Good stuff.
Juju says, my knitting group can't meet at the USO today because of the holiday, so we're meeting at Stupid Good Barbecue so I can grab dinner easily too. Our group volunteer texted me first to see if I liked the suggestion.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Awesome.
I love that.
She says, I feel so seen and loved. And that is amazing.
That's really sweet. I love that.
That's amazing. People are congratulating you on your weight loss, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I think that's a really good example, though, of someone who is understanding of your lifestyle and like what it is you're trying to do. And so they're kind of like celebrating your success. They're trying to make sure like, hey, you know, Jujubee, if we go here, is this okay? Like, that's a great group of friends. Those are people that care about you and your success and what it is you're trying to do.
And those are the people who celebrate with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
My mouse is really struggling, and I also
it really is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I keep feeling like I have hair in my eye, which is why I keep taking my glasses off and poking my eye.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just take my finger out of my eye.
Are we just struggling really hard today?
Listen, I'm driving the struggle bus every day. Okay,
honey. You're flooring it today.
Yeah, I sure am. I'm flooring it, but I've got my head down against the floorboard with my head on the pedal and my feet are up on the steering wheel, I think. Roxanne says, yes, I think it's an N=1 for us. I have to do more of a balance of protein, carbs, and veg. Yeah. And when you find what makes you feel good, it's all you got to do.
That's awesome.
John says, you already did it. You made bread, pasta, and potatoes healthy, kind of.
Yeah.
Yep. Generally. And my mom makes a great point. Nighthawk, make sure to read Christopher's guide. It does a great job of helping you decide what the best fit is for you. I know this for sure because I edited it.
It's true.
Yes. If you haven't gotten my free ebook, go down here, see where it says free ebook right there. And we've got the private group, which is right there, right? And that's all at chriscookingnashville.com. So go down there and check out chriscookingnashville.com, pick up that ebook, and consider joining that private group, and it'll get you everything you need to get started. Brenda says, that's how I felt about steak. Doctor had me off all red meat for over 10 years. I'm still excited about the red meat. Off all meds, down 85 pounds. That's amazing, awesome. Brenda.
So great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Cindy says, Chris is a dang genius in the kitchen with all these great recipes. You're very sweet, Cindy.
He's very good. He's very smart.
You're very, very sweet. Sherry says, I need to jet off to see my other morning podcast that I watch. Be back in 30 minutes at 2 times speed to get caught back up. Well, have fun, Sherry.
Sherry, you're a trooper.
That was like almost an hour ago she said that. So we're way behind. I'm so sorry, guys. Nighthawk, I think she's already going through the keto flu. She's currently under the covers, feeling cold and feels tired, and she has rheumatoid arthritis and other health issues, and this is the why for her. Thank you both. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
And yes, she's probably going through keto flu. Lots of electrolytes.
Yeah.
Lots of electrolytes. Lots of fat, butter. Okay. So electrolytes, butter, plenty of rest and just hanging in there and leaning towards carnivore the more and more she can for the arthritis.
If you can go get her probably 3 like packets today, it will knock it out. I've been here, I've done it. You want to do basically as many electrolytes as you can get her to drink. So like I would do like 3 packs in one day, just go for it.
And if you don't have any yet, go to the description box. I have a Keto Chow link down there. I recommend salty. And you can make your own. You can use others if you want, but salty are our favorites. They have flavored ones that are really good. They also have just unflavored ones if you want to stay away from the flavors. Go get some salty packets. I've got a discount code. You can click my link and go to the Keto Chow website and then go to the salty tab on the website. Order some electrolytes. If you don't want to do those, you can go on Amazon. I have a recipe in my ebook for how you can make your own electrolytes. Okay. So go and there's specific ones that you want to get that I have listed in there that are the most absorbable. Get some good electrolytes, whether it's salty or you make your own with my recipe in the ebook. Get some electrolytes and pump those electrolytes in, you guys, for the next couple of weeks, especially, and just kind of use them regularly going forward.
Yes. And butter. If she can't handle like the raw butter, or if she's just like, oh, that's so weird. You have a recipe for butter bites, right? On your channel?
Yep, browned butter bites on my channel. They're really nice. Keep them in the freezer, melt them on your tongue, chew them up if you want, whatever. Great way to get extra fat, and they taste really good. If
you can have her though, have the butter and the electrolytes, she will feel like a new person. It will definitely get her through for sure.
Yep. And Nighthawk says, I'll have to go back because I had to check on her.
Aww.
All good. Well, hopefully she gets feeling better. But yeah, it's totally normal if you feel really cruddy. Do those things to start feeling better when you're feeling really cruddy. And it'll make a big difference.
Yeah.
Cheryl is here, says, yippee, I caught part of the live. Hi, Cheryl. Good to see you. John says, lies. That's why everyone is so scared of a meat-based diet. Doctors and so-called experts have been lying to us for over 50 years. Doctors learn the lies in school and teach us to believe them. Absolutely.
Come on, John. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And that's the thing. I don't think a lot of them intend to lie. I think they're just doing what they're taught. But unfortunately, there's a lot of bad information out there, and that's why we are fighting it. So.
Yeah.
Nighthawk says, you're right. Changing our imprinted worldview about food. This takes time psychologically. It does.
It really does.
It does. And you just have to give yourself grace as you do it. It took me a long time. Ash took a long time. And there's still times when I have to be like, am I really sure I'm doing this right? Like, I still question it. Don't ever stop asking the questions,
Right.
Don't ever blindly believe anything. Always do your research. Let's see. Carrie says, wish could afford some steak or ground meat again. Have been surviving on chicken leg quarters. Couldn't find the bags with dimes. They have kept me going, and coffee. Yeah. But there's the thing. Like, even if you're not eating red meat, like chicken leg quarters, great. Super nutritious. That's wonderful. And Cindy says, Nighthawk, Dr. Barrage put up a short video about doing carnivore with eating hot dogs, bologna, and such. Yeah, and he talks about that. You can do carnivore with the cheapest canned bologna, hot dog-filled meat you can find.
Yeah.
You just do the best you can with what you got and whatever makes you feel good. Jackie is here late to the party. Hey-o.
Hey, Jackie.
Hey, Jackie. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
So Nighthawk says she likes chicken, ground beef, and Italian sausage, and sometimes steak. Not a seafood fan, though. Great. So fatty chicken legs, chicken thighs. You can do chicken breast, but if you're going to do chicken breast, add a bunch of fat like butter or, that kind of stuff to it. Ground beef, get the fattiest ground beef you can. Italian sausage, find the cleanest Italian sausage you can and go for it. And then when she wants steak, let her have some steak.
Yeah.
Simple.
Super simple.
It's awesome. And I have a bunch of pasta and bread type recipes that you could do a whole bunch of things with chicken and ground beef and Italian sausage.
And Italian sausage and all that. Absolutely.
Yep. Juju says, chicken is amazing, Carrie. Look for the positive in the world and manifest that red meat you desire. When our hands are clenched tight to what we do have, our hands are not open to what could be.
Oh, love that, Juju. That's so awesome.
Terry says, carbonara with your carnivore noodles. That would be yummy. Bacon, the pasta and cream sauce for a win. Absolutely.
Oh, he's done it. I've eaten it.
So I actually have an old video before I had that noodle recipe.
Yeah.
I had another noodle recipe. I did a carnivore carbonara is what I called it. Carnivore carbonara. And I showed you guys how to do that. So use that carbonara sauce on my new pasta. carnivore carbonara all day long.
Yum.
Amazing.
So good.
Amazing. Auntie says, people start things like challenges like 14 days of just this food, and my brain reads that as a diet, and I have failed on every diet. Absolutely. Yeah. A challenge is cool if it fits into the lifestyle you already live, but if you're doing it as just a challenge that's significantly farther away than what you've been doing from something, it can be really tough to do things like that and be successful. So, you know, and someone like Auntie who's like, I failed on every diet I've ever done.
Right.
Keep that mindset on a lifestyle change and don't worry about the challenges, you know? Like, that's great.
Yeah.
You're doing great, Auntie. You're so smart.
Auntie's awesome, man.
Rick says, no one has ever told me I'm not a real carnivore. I'm glad, because it gets really irritating. It gets really annoying.
The rest of us have heard it plenty.
Let's see. Nighthawk says, great. Is that on your recipe cards? Yum. I'm not sure which recipe I was talking about you were asking, but if you're talking about the pasta noodles, it is on my recipe cards. And then if there's anything else you don't see, if it's not in a recipe card, the recipe is in the description of the video on my channel, because I still have to go back. There's so many recipes I don't have put into the recipe card system, because there was before I was doing recipe cards on a website. So those recipes are in those description boxes of those videos. So it'll be in one of the two places, whichever recipe we're talking about. And you can always send me an email if you can't find it. Jackie says, I feel so very blessed that Hubs has done carnivore with me 4 of the last 6 months, and my teen daughter did carnivore January with us. It is so validating to have family support.
That's
absolutely
incredible.
That's amazing. And you're teaching your husband and your daughter to like start moving in the direction of maybe them doing it all the time with you know?
That's so awesome.
That's great. Rick says, when you are poor, the marked down meat, the canal, and the dumpster are all potential food sources. Absolutely. Make it work with whatever you got. It's the best you can do, you know? John says, Sam's Club early in the morning has lots of discount meats. That's where I get my steaks, roasts, and lamb chops, all under $5 a pound. They're my main sous vide meat supplier. That's awesome, John.
Man. Yeah.
Great tip. Great tip. Lewis says, the creators that frustrate me are the ones with doctor in their title, the ones that state things without documentation to back it up. Absolutely.
True.
This is why I like Dr. Barry's videos, because he says stuff and then he links to the research in the description box so you can go prove it to yourself, which is awesome, because I agree with you, Lewis. There's a lot of guys that don't do that. Yeah. PJ says, there are dogmatic folks in every community. Just find a tribe that lifts you up, not puts you down.
Very true, PJ.
Man, I think I also saw a comment from PJ somewhere where she said that she was a new subscriber.
Oh, so, awesome. Well, welcome, PJ. We're glad you're here.
We're very glad to have you here.
Yeah.
Terry says, Cindy, I had it in Italy. Of course, it was with regular pasta, but now I know I can replicate it with Chris's noodles and be safe.
Oh,
absolutely. Nighthawk says, that was me. I latched on to the first few videos that were focused on these strict requirements to be successful. Yes. And that's why we try to be so outspoken about, there's nothing wrong with doing it strict. If you can do it strict for health, that's probably the ultimate way to do it, right? I'm not going to discount that the stricter you go, the more physiologically that's probably good for your body. But there's so much more to it than just how strict you can be. And being strict is great, but it's not a way that we should be using it to beat people up if they're struggling to do that, or if they're afraid to try that. I call myself the gateway drug to carnivore for people, because my recipes are not strict. They are, you know, dairy, spices, things that are very loose in the carnivore world. But I do that because it's like, okay, well, 99% of the world out there has no desire to eat meat, salt, and water right now. Maybe they never will. I don't know, but they definitely don't have that right now. So how do we convince them they can try this for the benefits of their health without thinking we're a bunch of whack jobs in a cult that are trying to force people to eat steak and nothing else? Yeah. Right? You cannot reach the world and change the world by telling people, if you don't eat ribeye steaks every single day that are grass-fed, grass-finished, that are $100 a pound, and if you don't do it this way, and you don't do this, and you don't do that, you're not good enough, and you're going to die an early death, and that's the way you do carnivore, and if you can't do carnivore, you're pathetic. Like, that's not about helping people. That's about being a douche, you know? And I've said this before, and people love it when I say it. Do you want to help, or do you want to be a douche? Like, that's the line. And so that's why we're so outspoken about nothing wrong with doing the best you can with what works for you, and try to do a little better tomorrow. one day at a time. That's all you can do. So totally understand Nighthawk. And here's the deal. There was a time getting really dogmatic when I did carnivore the first time. And that's why I know it's so important not to, because I look at that and I was like, why was I so judgy? I mean, thankfully I wasn't going out and beating people up online, but I was looking at it that way, like, oh, they're not doing it right. And then as I really started to sit and think about it over time, I was like, why am I being this way? I was getting sucked into what other creators were doing just as much as I see other people getting sucked into it. That's why I stand against it now, because I'm like, don't be like me and don't be like those people. Let's go help people. Let's make a difference in people's lives, not beat them up. Don't anybody be like that. We love you guys too much. Lewis says ground meat is bad. Do they swallow their steaks whole?
Good question, Lewis.
That's a really good question.
Oh, man.
I've told people before, if you're going to preach at me about how I'm not a real carnivore, you better be walking out in the field, taking a knife and slicing a hunk off that cow and eating it raw. Because if you're not, then you're no different than the rest of us. It's just what shade of gray are you living by, and you're just using it to be judgy to other people. John says cheap ground beef is a great option. They probably use scraps and cheap cuts, which is fine because we should be eating nose to tail. Absolutely. The more of that cheap, fatty, connective tissue and all the stuff in there you're getting, the more collagen and all the stuff that's really good for you that you're getting. It's amazing. PJ says, like vegans, LOL. Yes, absolutely. And we don't want to be that way, you know? No. Mr. Dustin is in the house. Good afternoon, Keto Simple. If you guys don't subscribe to Dustin at Keto Simple, you should. He is one of the trifecta of the Keto Crusade, which will be coming up on the 23rd, by the way.
Exciting.
Juju says, random question. How long is cottage cheese good once for once opened? I mean, I've had it for like 3 or 4 weeks. You know, if it smells good and it doesn't have mold on it, you're good. Never lasts that long in my house, though. Keto Simple says, struggling to be a part of the land of the living. Man, I'm so sorry. I hope you're feeling better, but I know it's rough.
Around.
Everyone's struggling right now. Sean says, I tell the carnivore cops, well, you're not carnivore either. Have you ever seen a lion cook or salt their meat? That's right. The one that I love is when people are like, you're not a carnivore. Carnivores are like lions, and they're just eating their raw meat and all of this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, lions also don't use computers, which is what you're using to complain about the fact that I'm not a carnivore. So if you're not going to live your life like a lion, then don't judge me for not doing it either. Also, there's a big difference between a carnivore animal and the carnivore diet. It's two completely different things.
Different things.
Also, did you know to be I think it's a hyper carnivore, which basically is like eats the highest percentage of meat. The scientific classification of that is, I think, 90% animal flesh. Really? So even them, they're getting like the grass that's in the stomach of the animal they're eating. And, you know, like the things that are stuck to the outside of that ant, like even them, they're not actually eating just meat. They're not trying to eat that other stuff, but they do get it in their diet. Just saying. Just saying. Dustin says, we're trying to get better.
Oh, I hope y'all get feeling better soon.
Yeah, I know. That's rough.
Yeah.
He also says, granddaughter is here with us today. No school. It's President's Day.
Ah, that's right.
Sharon is here. She says, thank you so much, guys. I love this discussion. We each get to do it our way for whatever reason. Absolutely.
Very true.
PJ says, carnivore cures your brain function and that addiction as well. It does.
Absolutely.
More info coming in the future from me.
From me.
From me. It's all I'm going to say about that. I'm just teasing you guys, but in the next few months, hopefully we'll have some more info to share. John says, I'm not a carnivore because of my diet. I'm a carnivore because of my name. I even eat locally sourced raw honey. That's awesome. And if it works for you, that's great. You know?
Great. Yeah.
Kelly says, my question is, do you really eat salt and butter? I've been watching you two for a week. I'm real interested. My only issue is being able to afford it. Yeah. Yeah, we eat a lot of butter. So first of all, our coffee every single day is made with coffee. I'm going to do a video on this for you guys. Our coffee every single day is made with a half of a stick of butter. So each of us is getting a quarter of a stick of butter just by drinking our coffee in the morning.
Yep.
I cook with butter.
Yep.
I have a bag of frozen butter bites in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
If we're in the mood for some more fat, we'll just cut a hunk of butter off of the stick and eat it.
Mm-hmm.
We eat butter all the time.
Yeah.
I put salt on our food to what tastes good.
Yeah.
The amount of salt you need is the amount that tastes good to you. As Dr. Berry says, you have this very advanced piece of machinery that will tell you if you have enough salt or if you need more or if you have too much. If it tastes good, eat it. If it doesn't, don't.
Yeah.
That is as complicated as that is. As far as being able to afford carnivore or doing like the butter thing, you don't have to eat butter, but it does make you feel good if you can get more of it in your diet. Fat of any kind, but butter is just maybe the most palatable, easiest one to eat, I think. But we actually saved money when we started doing keto and carnivore because we weren't having snacks. We didn't have sodas. We didn't have all of the processed stuff. Because here's the thing, all the processed carbohydrate foods, they look like they're cheaper. But if you take it, like say a giant family-sized bag of potato chips or a giant super family-sized box of cereal, if you grind it all up and you put it in a bowl, do you know how little material is actually in that bowl?
Yeah.
There's almost nothing in it. Those things are mostly air.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you look at the amount of nutrition that's in that bowl, there's hardly anything. So if you set that next to ground beef, that's the exact same amount. It's actually cheaper to buy ground beef. And you're getting way more nutrition. So pound for pound, keto and carnivore foods are actually cheaper.
And
more satiating.
Yes, and more satiating. So, that was the thing on a standard American diet. We would basically eat 3 meals a day plus snacks and, all that in between. And when we do keto, carnivore, when we do this, it's like we usually only have like 1 meal a day. Maybe we'll have 2 if we're hungry. But it's like you actually eat less and you're more satiated.
Yeah.
But yeah, great question.
It's a great question, Kelly. And we're here to help. So whatever we can do, questions you have, you just let us know.
And it also seems like Kelly is new. So Kelly, welcome. And we're so happy that you're here. And any more questions, let us know.
Absolutely.
Great question.
We are here to support you. You're doing fantastic. You really are.
Yeah.
Promise. You're doing great. Nighthawk says, I understand what you're saying. Wonderful live stream. She has to eat well-done steak. I like almost raw steaks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? For a long time, I just
me.
made her steak the way that she wanted it. And that was okay. And over time, her taste changed. Even if her tastes never change. If she wants it well done, let her eat it well done.
Right.
Just get the fattiest kind you can.
Yeah.
Even well done, a ribeye still tastes really good.
It does. It does.
John talking about the dogmatic carnivores. They're as annoying as vegans. I hate when they say their way is the only right way. They know nothing about me. Yeah. Absolutely.
Very true.
Bob Farish is here. Hi, Bob. Says, Chris, do you have an Italian sausage recipe? I don't yet.
Yet is the key word.
Yet, but that would be a great one. So I actually have a video we're working on with a new dry ager. And once I get done with this dry age steak video, cured meats and all these different kinds of ground meats and stuff, that's a direction that I want to start going with some extra videos for my channel. Along with that, I'm sure I could do an Italian sausage recipe.
I would love an Italian sausage recipe.
Yeah, I will start looking into how I can do that for you guys, and maybe we can start getting into some stuff like that. It's a great idea. John says, chicken noodle pasta. I use egg life wraps when I don't have the time to make it. The good CCN noodles. Yeah, absolutely. And those egg life wraps. Listen, I hate the egg life wraps. So does she. But if you like them, go for it. Like, don't let my tastes keep you from doing something that works for you. I just don't like them, and she doesn't either. But if you like them, that's a great alternative if you don't have time to make my noodles.
And it works. Like, as long as John's happy, I'm happy.
Right.
I'm going to celebrate John's success in eating the egg life wrap noodles.
Absolutely.
When he doesn't have time to make your noodles. I'm here for it.
Absolutely. Nighthawk says, you both have already helped us more than you know. Well, we are so glad.
Oh, good.
I'm honestly like, listen, we are here to help people. And I know what it's like to be at the beginning of this and not have a clue what I'm doing.
And so it can be overwhelming. Yeah.
It can be so much information. And I've done this for so long that I can kind of pinpoint where certain information is. People that are doing this for the first time struggle with that. That's why we do what we do. That's why my ebook is something I put together. That's the information I wish someone would have given me the first time I was thinking about doing keto or carnivore. So there's Cindy dropping the link for my turkey video.
That turkey is good.
Nighthawk says, I'll be copying all of your recipe cards, I suspect.
Yeah.
Well, if you have any trouble with any of them, please let me know. But I think you will really enjoy them, hopefully.
Yeah.
Dustin says, we went to bed at like 9 p.m. last night, too. I get it, man. You just got to get that extra sleep.
That's rough.
Sharon says, so sadly can't eat eggs or chicken. Any bread recipes without egg whites? Sharon, I don't have any bread recipes without egg whites. And the reason for that is because to make something like this that doesn't have gluten, you have to have something to bind it together. And eggs are a very unique kind of protein because they're liquid before they're cooked, and then they're solid after they're cooked. That's why they're so prevalent in baked goods, because they do something that pretty much no other protein in the world can do. Have you tried duck eggs? It's the only suggestion I can say, is because eggs and chicken being a sensitivity you have, sometimes that has to do with the way the chicken is being fed. And sometimes it has to do with the kinds of, thumbs up for chicken.
Thumbs up for chicken.
Sometimes it has to do with the kind of protein that is in a chicken egg that people are sensitive to, and it may not cause the same issue if you have duck eggs. Or, again, have you tried eating just the yolks of chicken eggs to see if maybe it's the whites you're sensitive to? It doesn't necessarily help with the bread recipe, but it might help you be able to use eggs in something else if you find out it's just the whites. I'm not sure, just as some suggestions. Just interesting to see if maybe you've tried any of that, or if any of that makes a difference for you. I have see all this white stuff that's like on my shirt today that I just can't seem to.
The dog.
It probably is.
Yeah.
It probably is. I'm just
here.
over here just like, hello.
Whoa. Well, it's a family show.
Is it?
No. Oh, that's funny.
Auntie says, Nighthawk, isn't it wonderful you have dropped in on some of the best? Auntie, you are so sweet.
I love you, Auntie.
Bob says, do you have Italian recipes? I'm assuming you mean like different kinds of Italian foods. I do have a bunch. I have lasagna. I have pasta noodles. I have the Italian pasta salad. I have, like we were talking about, the crostini.
You got all kinds.
Yeah, several different things you can check out on my channel and also on my website in the recipe cards.
Yeah.
Jennifer is here. I caught you live for the first time. Yay. Thank you for everything from snowy Ohio. Well, Jennifer, we're glad you're here.
That's awesome.
Let's see. So Nighthawk says, Winn-Dixie stores have organic eggs for $6 a dozen right now. That's actually a good price for organic eggs.
Man.
For sure. Auntie sent us a $10 super chat. Auntie, you are so sweet for your wisdom, caring, and non-judgmental environment. The band.
Aww.
Auntie, you are just the sweetest thing. We love you.
Thank you, Auntie.
Yes,
you are so sweet.
You're truly amazing.
That seriously means so much. It helps us so much. You guys have no idea. So thank you so much.
John says, when I need more support, it has to be elastic.
That's a good one. I mean, that
is good. And there's Cindy dropping in a link to my recipe cards for you guys.
Cindy, you're the best. Thank you.
Absolutely. And you can also always remember, go to the YouTube search box and type in Chris Cooking Nashville and whatever recipe it is you wonder if I have. If I have it, it'll probably pop up for you. Jackie says, I haven't been able to be successful with your loaf of bread, but it works great to make hamburger buns. I feel like I can't afford to keep experimenting with forcing it to loaf. For me, the buns work fine. If the buns work, great. It just sounds like you probably need more egg white powder if you're struggling with the loaf idea. But if the buns are working for you, go for it. The reason the buns work with less egg white powder is you have more surface area and less stuff inside. So more liquid evaporates faster before it seals off. So you don't need as much of the egg white powder inside because you have a more stable crust on the outside that holds it together.
Makes sense.
So, yeah. But however it works for you, just go for it.
The buns are amazing, though. Those are so good.
Yep. Nighthawk's waiting for the egg white bucket to arrive.
Heck
That's
yeah.
awesome.
That's awesome.
There's the crostini link.
Love it.
PJ says, off to make Chris's bread. Have a wonderful day, all. PJ, have fun.
PJ,
if you need help, you let us know.
Yeah.
Keto Simple says, I want a thick cheeseburger soup. Well, I'm going to text you and tell you what I'm going to do, and I'm going to give you that recipe option, and then you got to tune in tomorrow night to watch me actually do it live, Dustin. But I will. I have not forgotten you. We just had a busy night last night because we got home later than we intended to.
Yeah,
and we had a bunch of stuff to do. So I will text you that recipe after the live today, and you get a preview of it. Then you can decide if you want to make it BBBE for your current way of doing it, or if you want to go ahead and add in the cheese and make it the cheeseburger version.
Oh, I like it.
Risa has the same problem as Jackie, and honestly, I have this problem too. My buns come out much better than my loaves.
Oh my gosh, stop. I'm so embarrassed right now. I'm sorry. I didn't even let you out of the house. We're in our house.
It's the worst part about being able to live stream, isn't it?
Wow.
I can get myself to the outside world without you letting me out the front door.
I know. I have to sit here and just...
John says burger soup. Yes,
Yeah.
John. It's going to be good. Trust me.
I am so excited about it.
Yep. Nighthawk says she wanted a grilled cheese, and lo and behold, your video popped up with you both making the white bread. She was over the moon.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, if that's the kind of stuff she enjoys, then this is why these recipes are here.
Yes.
And it will help her transition, and it will be amazing. So.
Absolutely. Carrie says, heavily meat-based ketovore is where I'm resting right now. Nisha, Solace Berry, is very helpful. And as an aside, Chris's chicken noodles are so good that even my standard American diet daughter gobbled them up.
That's amazing.
Awesome. I love it, Carrie.
Nisha is incredible.
Yeah, Nisha is a great resource. And Nisha is also very outspoken about the stop being dogmatic and beating people up. Everyone figure out what works best for you. Do the elimination work. Do the diet the way that you need to figure out what you can really tolerate, and then stop beating people up when theirs is different than yours.
Yes, absolutely.
Love it. We love Nisha.
Nisha is incredible. She's a great human being and a wealth of knowledge and resource.
Yeah. We love Dr. Berry too, but Dr. Berry is made so much better by his partnership with Nisha. The two of them together are just an unstoppable force.
They're both great.
We love them.
We love Carrie too.
Carrie's great. John has a great question. What's a shabu shabu? So shabu shabu is very thinly sliced meat. It's a Japanese dish that is usually cooked in either boiling water or stock, and then you eat it. It's really, really good. I'm going to be doing a video on it at some point.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
it's delicious
really,
though. If you guys have never
some
had
places
it,
you
so
can
good.
go, like Costco, they actually make it themselves, or they like pre-slice it for you. I'm going to show you guys how you can make it yourselves and save money, because you can get it way more meat for the same price if you do it at home. So
cool.
But it's really, really cool. It's really good. I have some in the fridge right now, or in the freezer right now.
Yeah, you do.
So that I made. Auntie says, I guess shabu shabu is not that killer whale. Nope.
That was shamu.
That's right. Evelyn is saying John very thinly cut meat in Japanese cuisine. John says I suck at tracking macros. Me too. That's why I gave up a long time ago. Nighthawk says we are fortunate to have a griddle in our outdoor kitchen. Looking forward to using it for all these new recipes. I'd love to have a griddle in an outdoor kitchen. That's amazing. That's a great resource for you.
Super good.
JJ is here, says good morning. Good to see you, my friend. And Dustin's just saying hello to everybody.
Awesome.
Milady Laugh a Lot says thank you, Chris and Ash. Going to be a great week.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say, Andy, when is your actual birthday? Is it today or is it another day? I now need to know the answer to this question.
Caleb says, yeah, Dustin, you're missing about 8 billion people. Dustin was saying hi to everybody, and he said up here, I'm probably missing people. And
Caleb, like 8 billion.
Caleb's like, yeah, you're missing about 8 billion people.
Yeah.
That's right. Give him a hard time, Caleb. Don't take anything off of Dustin.
Yeah.
He gives everybody else a hard time, so we gotta give it back.
Only because we love him.
Carrie says we tend to undereat. Yes, most people don't usually overeat on carnivore. Most people tend to undereat on carnivore.
Yeah,
if they're going to do anything.
Yeah.
Auntie says haters can be blocked. Yes.
Well, especially with Auntie.
That's right.
As one of our moderators.
With Auntie guarding the gates, I am not concerned.
Someone comes in here, stirring up the pot. Auntie's on it, man.
JJ says, don't be a douchebag. Famous quote I heard once, Chris Cooking Nashville.
Yeah, he says it a lot.
That's right.
Do you want to help people or do you want to be a douche?
I love this. Nighthawk says, watching you both has just energized me to get creative. Have to dust off the mixer and get into it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Love it. Well, that's the thing. Like, carnivore can be very simple, but it doesn't have to be simple. So if you want to have some fun and be creative, and if that makes you more stable, go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm creating all kinds of crazy stuff on a weekly basis. I'm not going to tell you guys what, but I just got a recipe right a couple of days ago. People in the band know what it is. In a private group, I've already given them a preview.
I can't say anything. I'll blow it.
It's going to be great.
Yep.
Jackie says, I'm ketovore this month. Hubs is low sugar, only choosing keto options mostly, but also choosing some greens. But I'm weirdly snacky since adding in more plants. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. When you start adding in more plants, sometimes that kicks in some of that carby, snacky thing. So you just, test it back and forth. Find what works for you. So Trisha is here. She says pork rinds with butter is the bomb.
You are not wrong. That is delicious.
You take a pork rind and you dip it in some melted butter. And if you do such things, add a little hot sauce to it.
That's my jam. Pork rinds with hot sauce. That's it.
Jackie says my favorite ketovore snack is CCN mashed potatoes with tahini and lemon and cumin, which is the best low carb hummus ever, eaten with salt and pepper pork rinds. That sounds awesome.
That sounds awesome, Jackie. Heck
that sounds great. We're going to try that sometime.
Yeah.
John, my problem with tracking macros is similar to watching light. It does not act the same as when nobody is watching. Tracking becomes a game and never actually reflects my macros when not tracking. Yep. I understand, which can be a tool that might help you, or it can maybe be a hindrance because you don't actually know how to live your life that way. It's everybody's different in that way. I'm with you, John. I'm just like tracking my macros unless I'm really struggling and I don't know why. It just doesn't do me any good. But some people, it's very helpful.
Yeah.
He also says pork rinds dipped in sugar-free Head County barbecue sauce is awesome.
I bet that would be good.
Be like a little pork barbecue vibe. Trish says, dang, Chris, making me cry now.
Stop making people cry.
No crying. It's okay. Bob and Donna Ferris. Chris, is there any sugar-free flavoring to add to coffee and core keto chow, etc.? So if you're looking for sugar-free flavoring, here's what I would suggest. Get yourself allulose or stevia or whatever kind of sweetener you might use. Or if you don't want any sweetener at all, don't use any sweetener. And then for flavoring, go look at baking extracts like almond extract, maple extract, pumpkin spice extract. There's all kinds of extracts. If you want to get some flavoring of some kind and then choose to add sweetness or not add sweetness to your liking, you can totally do that. The only other thing I would say is maybe look at the salty electrolytes if you want something sweet, because they have the Coco Loco, which is chocolate, and they have the Caramel Vibes, which is chocolate caramel.
And those both in your coffee are a game changer.
They're so good. So good. So either of those would be great. JJ, a member for 1 month.
Yeah.
Facts. It's all about the journey, and I'm blessed to be here with such awesome friends. JJ, we are so glad to have you here. We appreciate you so much.
You rock, man.
Thank you for being a part of everything with us here and being a member of the band.
Yeah.
Cat Mom is here. Hi, guys. I've been doing the diet for a few years until I was hit by severe anxiety and depression. What's the best way to get back on track? Cat Mom, this is a really good question. So there's a couple of things I personally would think you need to do. Number one is you need to figure out what version of this diet makes you feel the best, right? Is it meat heavy keto? Is it ketovore? Is it carnivore? The heavier on the meat and the fat you can lean, the better it's going to be for anxiety and depression. Okay. I struggled with anxiety and depression. I didn't even know I was. Carnivore is the only thing that made it go away for me. So you need to lean as heavy as you possibly can. When you do that, you also need to figure out what are the things in your life that are triggering you to feel this way. Like, what is the negative, toxic stuff that makes it worse for you? And do what you can to minimize or eliminate that from your life. And you need a support community that can help you. And you need to remember, beating yourself up if you're not perfect on your diet, you're not perfect the way you feel, any of these things, that's not a thing you should do. Right? It's okay to struggle, and it's okay to need some support. It's okay to need some help. Get that extra meat, and especially the fat. Fat is so good for your brain and the anxiety and depression stuff. That fat is key. I have to be high fat because it makes my brain so much better. And my anxiety and depression element gone when I went high fat carnivore. That is the stuff that makes a difference. And if you just really are struggling and even doing that doesn't seem to help, then maybe it's time to talk with a psychologist, therapist, a doctor who can help you with, other things. They can do some tests, whatever. But if you're trying to do it with just diet, meat heavy keto, high fat, ketovore, or ideally, if you can, carnivore, and use some of my recipes. Like, how do I get back into the diet? Okay, well, what's making it hard for you to get into the diet? Is it a lack of variety? Use my recipes. Is it the cost? Sit down and really break down the costs like we were talking about, because the other foods that are not part of this diet are very expensive for the poundage of food you're getting. And so it can look like it's more expensive to do carnivore, but in reality, it's actually not.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be able to see that sometimes to convince yourself of that. I certainly needed it.
Mm-hmm.
I would just expected to spend more money doing this. And I was like, whatever, we're just going to do it. It wasn't until after we did it that I realized it was cheaper. Is it something about your schedule, your life? Like, you have to figure out what is the thing that's making it hard for you to get back on track, and then figure out how to address that specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You have any other thoughts for that?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think the phrase in here that really sticks out to me is that you were on the diet for a few years until I was hit by severe anxiety and depression.
Mm-hmm.
So with anxiety and depression, that's clearly no joke, and that's super hard. Again, This kind of goes back to what we talk about your mind plays such an important role in you being able to be successful. So I would actually recommend, as you're trying to get back on track, I agree with everything you said, but I think step one needs to be to figure out what actually caused,
what triggered it.
Yeah. What gave you severe anxiety and depression.
Yep.
And maybe you need to change, like confront that,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe make some adjustments in your life,
Yep.
And in your environment and surroundings. And then from there, ease into it. Like Chris said, like, what is it then after you kind of tackle what caused anxiety and depression? Then, why am I not having a hard time getting back on track?
Right.
But sometimes it's not just what you do, it's the order in which you do things.
Yep.
That plays a very big role. But we're here for you and here to support. And if you have questions or if you need anything, please let us know. Hi.
You were smart and you were hot.
I don't know about that. I think though that, this is something, this is kind of, I think sometimes, like, we talk about this. We're not doctors or anything, but
yeah.
I love to read a lot of books on, like, time management, self-organization. I love to think like an entrepreneur mindset. This is why Chris and I are entrepreneurs twice over. And I think sometimes, whether it's your health or whether it's anything that you're trying to do, it's overwhelming, right? And there's a lot of pressures put on us. And so, like something, for example, like I've really noticed is when we went keto and carnivore, we, we're able to get rid of our anxiety and depression. We both were.
Right.
However, one thing I've noticed is that if I allow my cortisol levels to rise, if I don't take care of my hormones, right? So if I'm not doing certain things, well, then I find that my anxiety can come back.
Yep.
And it's like, well, why? Why is that? What is causing it? So sometimes it's great if you want to, like, lose weight or you want to get back on track or you want to do that. But it's like, well, wait a second, look at the big picture.
Right.
And what order do I need to do things in to be the most efficient? Because sometimes people will just try to jump in without looking ahead, and they fall off a cliff because they don't have any idea of what they actually need to be doing, what order it needs to be done in, and they just don't look at the big picture. And so that's why we're here, because we have made these mistakes time and time again. And so, just food for thought. But that's my advice. Appreciate that. Just trying to be helpful, learn from my mistakes. So, yeah.
Smart and hot.
Thanks, babe. Thanks.
Smart and hot. Okay.
Thanks.
John says pork rinds are also good with taco dip, cinnamon and a sweetener with sour cream and onion dip, nacho cheese. Okay, pork rinds are good with anything. Chips are good with.
John, I like where you're going with this, my friend. I like it.
Absolutely. Cynthia Stratton is here, and she's given us praise hands.
Oh, thank you, Cynthia. Hello.
Trisha says, Amber and Auntie, this is my first Monday live. Thanks for the warning.
We come with a warning. Who knew?
Yes. They were telling, I believe Auntie was telling Trisha, you should always come to these lives with a box of tissues in case you need to cry.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Sometimes we're really funny, and then sometimes we just all sit and cry. You just never know what you're getting on Monday.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Nighthawk says it takes a village.
It sure does.
Absolutely. John says, referring to pork rinds, I used them as croutons the other day in a chef's salad. I didn't have any cheese crisps. There you go.
Oh, I bet that was good.
Dustin says, I did YouTube for over 2 years by myself, and it was not fulfilling until I met community. Absolutely.
Very true.
Absolutely. Carrie says, I'm the only one that is supporting my successes. I don't have people telling me about my success. January 2025, I've been 17 years sober. One person at church was quick to tell me that I need to, and I don't know where the, hustle more. Yeah. So, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Go back to Carrie's first comment.
Yeah.
Carrie, couple things first. One, that is so cool, man, that you are 17 years sober.
Mm-hmm.
Very proud of you. I know you're doing really well on your diet. You're looking for a job. You're doing all of these great things with your life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm very proud of you. We love you dearly. I need to point something out, though, right here, my friend. This first sentence, I am the only one that is supporting my successes. No offense, that's BS, because what do you think we're all doing here right now?
That's right. We're right
Tell
here.
me your successes. That's literally what we're here for. You're not alone. Like, we're literally here supporting your successes. And this is why community is so important.
That's why we're here.
If you don't have people in your life that are maybe supporting you, I am very sorry to hear that. And that's unfortunate. And I think we all have that to some extent.
Yes.
So totally. But this is why this live stream, everyone in the chat, everyone watching, everyone commenting, like, we're literally here to support you and your successes, and we're cheering you on.
Absolutely.
So you've got this, my friend.
Yep. You're doing great.
Yeah. Keep it up.
You are doing great.
Everyone's chatty today.
Everybody's chatty today. I love it. I love it.
Because it's so cold that we
That's right.
can't go outside. It's like, I'll tune in.
That's
chat
right.
Away.
John says community is like a support group. Doubles or triples success rates. Absolutely. Rick says, I was all alone when I started YouTube in 2007. Yeah, that was, that was like back when YouTube was like still pretty new too. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Rick's been doing this a long time, but yeah, you guys make sure go subscribe to Rick too. He could use the support over there too.
Rick's awesome, man. He's super cool.
Mm-hmm. Cynthia makes a great point. If you don't have community, you need to reach out. It's your responsibility and you won't regret it.
Agreed, Cynthia.
Absolutely.
Great point.
This is, I'm not going to say who, but there was a person that was a roommate that we had at one point that took the approach of, I'm going to sit in the house and wait for friends to come find me.
Yeah.
And it's like, no one's coming to find you. Mm-hmm. Like, not that there aren't people that won't love you and support you, but you got to go find them. So come join our group, be here on the live streams, watch our channel, watch other people's channels in here. Dustin at Keto Simple, Cindy has a channel, Rick has a channel. Who else is in here? There's all sorts of people in here that have channels. Like, go and watch all of these people and be a part of this community and meet people and let us support you. That's why I have the private community for you guys. We have the private community. We have through YouTube, but there's Facebook groups or whatever. But I love Cynthia's comment because it really does go both ways. You need to reach out, but also we as a community, when people do come to us and they reach out, we need to be open to receiving them and being there and being a support system. Absolutely. Absolutely. Evelyn, Carrie, we are celebrating your successes with you. That's right. And Evelyn, that's why we're here. That's my girl. That is why we are here. Let's see. Love given is not love added. It's love multiplied. That's a fantastic statement. Yes. I also see people are congratulating Carrie on his successes. So see, that's why we're here, Carrie. We got you. Terry says, preach, Chris. Love being a part of all the safe keto communities and chats like yours. God bless you too for what you do. So many lives you are saving. Well, I hope we're making a difference. It's what we try to do. Juju says, hurt people, but help people, help people. Thank you, Chris and Ash. Oh, thank you, Juju. Thank you, Juju. We love you. A lot. Nighthawk gave us a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Says you both and this community have likely saved our lives. We are doing this for our health. That is our why. And that's why we're here, because we understand people are trying to save their lives. And that looks like a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Yeah. But all of us working together on it makes a big difference. Thank you, Nighthawk. Carrie says, you're preaching so good, I'm going to pass the plate. That's awesome. Auntie says, just by cooking my meals and giving day staff tastes, one of my coworkers started eating keto. Oh, that's amazing, Auntie. Changing the world one plate at a time. Heck yeah. Cindy says, that is awesome. We're all here for you and your wife, Nighthawk. Definitely. Love it. I'm telling you, got some good people. I'm telling you what. Juju says, I don't lose pounds. They ain't lost. I'm not looking for them. They gone. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. Oh, Juju. HDRC is here, says, picture 10 pounds in sticks of butter. That's a lot of sticks.
It really is.
Absolutely.
Ah, it really is.
Cindy says, Chris, I use a 14-pound bowling ball. If you guys didn't know, Cindy and Brian are both fantastic bowlers. I stopped carrying around more than 7 of them.
Think about that.
Think about that.
That's a lot. Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. John says, every once in a while I get a reply from that one person that has nothing better to do than judge others. Usually I ignore them, but occasionally they get a significant piece of my mind.
That's awesome.
Juju says, Fogo de Chow is my reward when I hit a big milestone, a fancy date night where I don't have to cook or clean up the mess. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
You know, and sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's, I'm just going to go do something I enjoy doing. Like, it doesn't even have to cost money to celebrate.
No.
You can do all kinds of things.
It could be going on a walk or just, I mean, the list is endless.
Mm-hmm. Cynthia says her celebration is also Brazilian steakhouse. That's awesome. Terry says, I'm celebrating with a fatty coffee and some relaxation. Butter and egg included in the coffee. Delicious.
That is yummy.
Love it.
Yeah.
And Carrie says, thank you, everyone, for lifting me up and celebrating.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Carrie, you're killing it, man.
John says, I pig out on pizza all the time. Just the toppings or a sausage crust pizza.
I see what he did
Love
there.
it. That's
that.
great. JJ, y'all say a prayer for my wife. She's trying to quit smoking. JJ, we are here to support you guys. I know that's rough, but man, she's going to do great.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Absolutely.
Evelyn says, sustaining at my current health is better than others out there that are continuing to worsen, especially my age. And if we are getting better, we are above the norm. What a great perspective.
Come on.
Terry says, preach, Ash. Trying to let it warm up some, then we'll go for a walk too.
Thanks, Terry. If you have a golden retriever, they'll pull you out in the snow.
That's right.
They just don't care.
That's right.
Mel's my reason for walking.
That's right. Brenda says a pound a week is 52 pounds a year. Woo-hoo.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
JJ says she's taking Wellbutrin and chewing a lot of gum. Hope it sticks. Her official quit day is the 19th.
Good for her, JJ. That's
excellent.
Awesome.
Let us know how we can support you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Cindy says, Evelyn, you are still a young lady at your age, and you are so right. Where we are now in our journeys, we are so much better than those not joining us.
Very
Absolutely.
true. Very true.
And a $2 super chat from Juju. She says, hurt people, helped people, help people. Juju, you're so right. Thank you so much.
You're the best. We appreciate you.
John says, stay away from something for a while, 3 to 6 months, and when you have it again, if you're sensitive, you will know it.
Very true.
It's a great, great piece of advice.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Evelyn says single source coffee has less mold, but all coffee has mold. I couldn't drink coffee until the inflammation went away because I started keto. It's interesting.
Very interesting.
Jackie says they started on the CCN channel, but logged in over here to bump the channel. Still watching in both places, but putting comments here, hoping it helps the algorithm.
Thank you, Jackie. Jackie, you're awesome.
It does help the algorithm. Thank you so
very
much.
Helpful.
Jackie says, also, I bought Sport Protein with your link as well. Better price than anything on Amazon. Only complaint's a little chunky. Just need to sift it when adding to the recipes. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll take the sifting over it not working and be a waste of money every day. So
true that.
Let's see. John says, was the mold in most coffee mentioned here, or was that the Two Crazy Ketos live stream? I think that was here.
Yeah.
So although I'm sure that Two Crazy Ketos have probably talked about that too, because I know they love their coffee, and I wouldn't be surprised if they have done the research. Risa says, I have a coonhound that is scared of everything. Boxes, bags, noises, you name it, is scared to come up the stairs. It is crazy. Glad to hear Mel is the same. Mean Zip isn't that nuts.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yep.
John says, my dog barks and attacks the vacuum. Not afraid of it. Not afraid of anything.
Well, see, that's a real dog, John.
There you go.
Mel is not.
Yeah, Mel is not a real dog.
Yep.
And I saw Cat Mom was asking for just support from people for fighting the depression and anxiety. John says strict BBBE with just salt for a couple of months might be a good place to start. Then slowly add spices and other stuff back in to find what's causing the problem. It's a great piece of advice.
Absolutely.
Especially for the mental side of things, because it can be weird things that can set that off.
For Cat Mom, too, a couple things that we had tried, which have also really, really helped Chris and I with anxiety and depression and all of that. And we actually have a couple of other Monday morning lives you could go back and watch where we kind of talk about this in more detail. But upping vitamin D and K
Yep, vitamin D and K2.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do vitamin D, take it with K2. Get the combination because the K2 helps you absorb the vitamin D properly.
Mm-hmm.
So vitamin D3 K2 combination
makes a huge difference for us, like literally day and night. So I would suggest start taking that. Also, do you currently use iodine? That could be something. And are you on electrolytes? Again, Chris has a salty link down below, but those 3 things with upping your fat, BB&E is a great recommendation. These are all some great things to maybe start trying and see a difference, hopefully.
Absolutely. And as Cindy says, we're all here for you. Prayers for you. Please reach out. This entire PhD community is the best.
Agreed.
Absolutely. And there's Dustin. Lean on this community. You're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Also, Dustin does Sunday morning live streams, and he does Tuesday night live streams right after our live stream. Go jump in there because a lot of the people in our community are also in there. And we're all a big happy family, and we're here to support you and give you a place to go.
Yeah.
So. John says whipped brown butter bites are awesome.
Yes, very tasty.
Yep. Let's see. There is the link for our private group. Thank you so much, Auntie, for sharing. And yes, Cat Mom, if it's something that you are capable of doing, financially, and you want to join that group so you just have a place you can get even deeper and have extra support, we would love to support you.
Lots of great people there. It's a few dollars a month. Lots of resources. Lots of cool stuff going on there.
Absolutely. Trish says, I've never tried the whipped brown butter bites. That sounds awesome.
Ooh,
they're
Trish,
very
try
good.
Those. So good.
Nighthawk says, I already ordered electrolytes before I knew about the ones you suggest, but I will look at those going forward. I think I ordered from a company called Beam, Electrolytes Mineral Drops, but not here yet. Yeah, I don't know if I've heard of that one, but yeah, just look into it. The reason we like salty is there's no dodgy ingredients, weird stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no maltodextrin. It's a really high percentage of the potassium and magnesium comparatively to other companies that do it. And they make us feel amazing.
Yeah,
they are
awesome.
By far the best that we've had. So
yeah,
just us. Some people don't like them, but we love them. John says reprogramming a lifetime of lies takes a lot of time. Absolutely.
Oh, it sure does. Yeah.
And let's see. I think we already answered that about the sausage recipe. They're talking about the whipped butter bites.
Good stuff.
Nighthawk has a good question. What does a clean Italian sausage consist of or not consist of? So basically what you want to look for is ingredients lists that don't have grains, that don't have weird fillers, that don't have corn syrup and sugar and things like that. So meat, fat, spices, there might be a little bit of like a preservative, like a citric acid or things.
Mm-hmm.
And even if there's a trace tiny amount of carbs, maybe they're using it to cure the sausage. I don't recommend that, but if the best you can find has the tiniest little trace of sugar, that's, okay. Like, be realistic about it. Do the best you can and try to find something that is 0 or maybe 1 carb per sausage link or less.
Yeah.
If you stick there, that's a great place to start. Just start reading the ingredients because you'll see some that it's like 3 grams of carbs per sausage link because they're putting in corn syrup.
Right.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't mess around with that. Avoid that kind of stuff. Find the cleanest, lowest carb, meat and spices only kind of Italian sausage you can find. And that'll be a big step in the right direction. Auntie says, compliments always make me cry. I appreciate them, yet also learning to accept them. Tears of happiness, not tears of not feeling worthy of praise. Well, I understand. Totally understand. Juju says, JJ, I have changed my mindset to that. Got a promotion at work, a free food processor from our neighborhood Facebook group when mine died. So many things provided when I need them, not want them. It's awesome.
Yes.
Let's see if there's anything. Let's see. Risa says, I adore Dr. Barry. Yesterday, I saw someone using his image and video and changing the voice to sell the 4-ingredient homemade weight loss meds. I have to let him know. Yeah. When you make as big of an impact as he does in a world that has AI, people will do some dirty stuff. I'm telling you.
Will.
So, yeah, we love Dr. Barry and Nisha, and I'll fight anybody to defend the two of them. They're great.
Mm-hmm.
JJ says, and this is why community is so important. We grow, we learn, we share, we lift each other up. Thank you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Lacey says, if I get anything crunchy in my ground beef, I'm going to puke. I understand. I don't want it crunchy in there. That's for sure.
No crunchy.
John says, I started very slowly, got a glucose monitor, cut out sugar, then realized other carbs were a bigger problem than sugar, then went total keto and eventually eliminated more and more till I hit ketovore. And that's the thing. You do it a step at a time, a little at a time. You keep going further and further. And the next thing you know, you're like John and you're super successful.
That's so cool, man. So
super
cool.
Stable. Let's see. I think we're getting close to the bottom here, folks. I'm out of butter right now. My neighbor is a cake baker. I had to borrow a stick yesterday to make mayo. She looked me dead in the eye asking if I was feeling okay. How are you out of butter?
It's concerning when the carnivore friend runs out of butter, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Lacey wants to know, when starting out, has anyone ever had meat aversions? How did you overcome? Yes, lots of people have meat aversions when they start out. You just have to figure out, what do you like? What does sound good? What kind of meats can you eat? Can you have some dairy? Can you make my recipes that don't taste like the meat? That's like more of the eggs, dairy-based kind of things, like bread, pasta type stuff. Like, what can you do to kind of get around that meat aversion until it comes back? And if there's just nothing that sounds good, then you're probably not hungry. Just fast until you are so hungry that the meat aversion is gone. Definitely.
Chris's pasta recipe was a lifesaver for me when I did carnivore. Started to experience some of that, and he literally made pasta for a recipe we were filming, and I was like, I'm good. I'm great. Let's go.
Absolutely. Nighthawk says, what's ironic to me is that before I became aware of this, Dad, I was already feeding my cat only raw from Viva Raw, and he's a little beast. Very healthy, 7 years old. His vet is still not convinced, though.
Oh.
Same experience with our dog.
Yeah.
The vets think we're crazy for making her food. So.
But, here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Juju says, I make a killer breakfast sausage. Can't wait to add Italian to the recipe box. P.S. Pork tenderloin is like $2 a pound. Stupid cheap versus buying actual sausage in the store.
Good
there
to
you
know.
go. Holly says, Chris, in your bread and pasta recipes, can I substitute maybe egg whites for the cheese for those of us who don't tolerate cheese? Well, it depends on what you're doing. So the reason the dairy is in there is because dairy has a particular effect within egg whites where it holds on to fat and it holds on to moisture, and it offers you a textural thing that eggs on their own do not do. So my bread recipes, it's tough to do them dairy free. You can try, but the thing about egg whites is egg whites are liquid when they're not cooked, and then they're solid when they are cooked, and they no longer bind. Dairy works very differently than that. So you're not going to get the same result. I mean, you can try it and you may like the result that you get, but it's not necessarily going to be what you're hoping for, I don't think. So
if you do try it, though.
Yeah, if you try it and you can make it work, let me know. It's the dairy thing is a tough thing to get around when it comes to recipes. That's why I don't have very many dairy-free recipes, because it's hard. Really hard. John says, I had a pound of liver cooked and a half stick of garlic butter for dinner last night. I slept so good. That is super high fat. Cat Mom says, I'm sitting here crying because I finally feel that I'm being heard. I understand. Honey, I get it. I understand. I had this horrible anxiety and depression I didn't even know I had. And I felt so alone for so long. You're not alone. We hear you, we see you, and we value you. So please let us support you. Just like Auntie is telling you right here. You are heard, you are loved, you are not alone. Jackie says, when I'm making one of your recipes, I watch the video over and over and over while I'm making it. One video recently, you didn't explicitly tell the measurements as you worked, threw off my process. Yes. That's why I have those recipe cards for you guys to print now, because a lot of times the amount of time it takes me to, in the video, tell you the measurements as I'm doing it, then immediately makes people in the comment section, this video is too long. Why are you telling me all this? I want a recipe card. So it's always a balancing act to try not to upset somebody. So
we try, but not perfect.
Yeah. Auntie says, I feel like cream cheese would be awesome in a thick burger soup. Yeah, that would be an addition. It's not the one that I'm using, but that is a cool idea.
Yeah, I like it.
I like that. John says there are a lot of zero carb breakfast sausage. Italian sausage is a bit more difficult. Most have 2 to 4 carbs per link. Yeah, I found one that's like, I think it's 1 carb per link, and that's because of the spices in there. It's not like a corn syrup thing.
Right.
So check the ingredients, keep it as low carb as you can. That's honestly the best we can do. Or if you watch me, watch until I come up with my recipe, and I'll tell you how to make your own no sugar.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, thumbs up.
I think I'm giving a thumbs
up. Actually, this is a great one to give a thumbs up to. Cindy says, you're so welcome, Cat Mom. We all need each other, and you can't find a better community between here, Dustin at Keto Simple, mine, and so many more.
Definitely thumbs up that. Yeah.
Rick says, there are all kinds of people in the carnivore space now, not just the big quack. Love it.
It's awesome.
Love it. This is really good. Auntie says, you've heard my experience with knives. I won't be cutting my own shabu shabu. So Auntie, I actually have a little tool that is going to actually make it to where you can make your own shabu shabu and you don't have to worry about cutting yourself. I don't try to cut my knife either.
There you go.
So Cranky Carnivore says, I'd never heard that name, but I love shabu shabu in my pho. Yeah, it's very similar to the sliced meat that you can put in pho. Mm-hmm. So it's just Japanese versus Vietnamese, different names for different dishes and stuff that kind of use the same technique. So Juju says, my Costco shabu shabu is the same price as the New York strip per pound. I love to save money, but same price and the work is done. I'm here for it. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you can find it at the same price.
Mm.
Sandra says, it's cold this week. Soup is so warm.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. You guys make sure to tune into the live stream tomorrow night to see that soup. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Nighthawk says, OMG, what kind of pork rinds are okay to eat? Certain brands? Dang, we need those. So the only thing you have to worry about with pork rinds is make sure they're not frying them in seed oils. Mm-hmm. So just read the ingredients, and if it says pork rinds and like salt, great. Stay away from any that have sugar, or stay away from any of them that have seed oils on the label, like soybean oil. Or like, why are you frying the pork skin in extra oil? It has plenty of fat in it to fry itself.
Right.
So just pork skins that are fried in their own oil, and you're good to go. Our favorite is Epic.
It's my favorite brand of all time.
The baked ones.
So good.
Amazing. So, but there's a lot of
ingredients in those.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there, but yeah, these are basically like pork skin, the oil that comes from the pork skin, and salt. That's it.
They're so good.
Any of them that have clean ingredients like that, by all means, go for it.
Yeah.
Whatever you like. So, and if you're okay with a few of the spices, and you can find ones that don't have sugar added, you can get the ones that have flavoring on them too, as long as the spices don't hurt you. Just stay away from the ones that have added sugar. Read those carb counts. It should be like 0. Auntie is sitting on her new heat massage chair pad. Might just get a nap in soon.
Oh, Auntie, I feel that. Yes. This is good.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And she also says, look for pork rinds with ingredients, pork and salt.
That's how you do it.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Absolutely. Nighthawk says, did you say barbecue sauce? What kind can we use? I like to smoke meats. Was wondering about that. I usually use sugar in my butt rubs. Was bummed thinking I couldn't anymore. So Nighthawk, I actually have a keto barbecue sauce I'm going to make a video about, and I have some rubs that I use that I don't use sugar when I do barbecue type stuff. It's not carnivore, but again, if you test these things and you can tolerate a little bit of keto stuff from time to time, that's what I do when I have barbecue. So I lean a little keto for my barbecue sauce, and then I go back to carnivore. But you have to do that carnivore thing, test, and then try those things and see if you react. So maybe hold off on the barbecue sauce and the barbecue rubs for now. And then after you've done carnivore for a while, then test it out. Go back and try some of the sugar-free versions that I'm going to be sharing and see what you think.
Yeah.
And see how that works for you. Dustin from Keto Simple can tell you how good my barbecue sauce is. He was here in Nashville and he had some of it. So he can tell you how good it is. Cindy has to go. We need to get out for a bit. Love y'all. We love you too, Cindy.
Bye,
have a great day.
Love
Dustin, a good homemade barbecue sauce recipe would be good, Chris. Yes, absolutely. Definitely coming.
Yeah.
Definitely coming for you. Holly says, I'm very sensitive to carbs. I do better with monk fruit or stevia extracts. 0 carbs in them is so concentrated, it only takes a pinch in coffee. Great idea. Great idea. Nighthawk says, we don't eat any organ meats either, but I ordered some capsules called Ancestral Supplements. That's what we have. Waiting for them to arrive. Does anyone else use these supplements? Yep, we've got them right now. Because Ash hates liver. I love liver. I enjoy eating organ meats. She does not. So she's using Ancestral Supplements. That's what Dr. Barry recommends if you can't eat organ meats, Ancestral Supplements.
Yeah, they just showed up like yesterday. So I'm just about to start taking them.
Yep. I don't know if she's looking forward to it, but she's trying.
Nope, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to. Now I put mine in the freezer because the smell the smell
throws her off.
The smell is a no-go for me. But
put them in the freezer and keep them cold. You can't smell them really very much, and so you can just pop a couple of them and swallow them before you really smell or taste anything.
So if you do get them, put them in the freezer if the smell's taking you back a little bit.
Yep. Lacey says, my goal is to be carnivore from this point on. I tried doing keto, but there's too many treats that make me go off the rails, and I need to try to be full carny for my Hashimoto's. Sorry for the delay. You're okay. So if you have Hashimoto's, yes, carnivore would probably be very good to help you. And then like Nisha, you can maybe find what things flare and what things don't. That's why Nisha eats the veggies and stuff that she does and not other ones, because she did the test to know what makes her Hashimoto's flare.
Yep.
JJ says, I've noticed my OCD tendencies have dramatically decreased over the past 3 years of doing keto. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Keto, especially meat-heavy, high-fat keto and leaning towards carnivore, so good for the brain. OCD, all other kinds of things, like so good. John Long has to go. Printed most of your recipes. Can't wait to try as many of them as I can, but definitely keep us posted on the cookbook. I'd buy one for sure. We are working on the cookbook, John. Yep. We will. You have a great day, my friend. Auntie, Mondays are a mixed bag of marvelous. Thank you, Auntie. Love that.
That's awesome.
Lacey says also, I'm the hippie child that's been asking you all the questions on your old recipe videos. Well, that's okay. You come and ask me all the questions you want. Yeah. Happy to help you. John has a good point. Stay away from the store-bought keto treats. They're addictive and high in total carbs. Carnivore is the way to avoid them, but might not be totally necessary. Absolutely. And you'll figure it out. But yeah, definitely stay away from the store-bought keto stuff and go carnivore, and then try to stick to it. And if you feel like you need to flex back to keto a little bit, do it, but stay away from the keto treat store-bought keto stuff, because that's the keto. It's not really helping with the keto thing. Nighthawk, I'm retired from UPS. Not sure what you're interested in doing. Very physical job, but outstanding benefits and position. For Carrie. There you go, Carrie.
That's awesome.
Let's see. Karen is here. She says, love how supportive you are. Well, thank you, Karen. We love all of the people here in the community. We're all just here to be together and be supportive.
Yeah.
And Lacey says, absolutely. I have to abstain. I cannot moderate anything. I'm a recovering binge eater. Right here, Lacey, you're not alone. So I have to be careful with the foods I'm around. I'm the same. Ash can tell you how bad of a binge eater I was. Really bad.
He really struggled with that.
Sharon says, Dr. Barry's short on sheep meat, a breath of fresh air. Ex-vegan are so judgy. Yes, I'd love to eat grass-fed, but my Social Security doesn't go that far. Give me good cheap hamburger fried in tallow or bacon grease.
Yeah.
I understand, Sharon. You are absolutely correct. And Auntie is relying on the keto groups on here and in person while the family supports me, still sort of keto alone. Nighthawk says, when you retire, many people fall off the radar and it can get isolating. Some don't mind, but for others, it's a huge change that takes adjusting to. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's why we're here for you, Nighthawk. We are here to help you. Sherry says, been eating this way for 20 years, had no support until I found this community, and now I'm not totally vegetarian. I eat more meat now. I call myself a dirty keto with a little vor. Love it.
Sherry, that's funny. I love
it. Yeah. Dustin says the strict fractions of any group have removed humanity from the equation, and that's not sustainable for most people. We're human.
Yes, absolutely. Dustin.
Absolutely. Brenda says, Russ will cheer you up. Homesick Buckeye.
There you go.
John says, I have certain items that I can't moderate. I have to stay away or suffer. The keto treats, I would eat an entire box in 2 days. Yep. That's what's, we don't buy them because we would probably do the same.
Absolutely.
Let's see. I know that Juju says she has to go. I think we're going to have to go here soon. Sharon stopped vegan at 273 pounds, keto for years, dropped 30 pounds. In the first 6 months, carnivore, dropped 70 pounds effortlessly. Wow, 100 pounds. Rock on, Sharon.
Good for you, Sharon. That's awesome. Heck yeah.
Sherry says yes, and Mel will make you drop your phone and time out.
You are never going to live that down.
Not wrong. Cheryl says, I don't have a printer. Can I share it to a friend to print, or is it for members only? Yeah, Cheryl, you can.
Absolutely.
You share whatever you want to a friend. You can send them the link and have them download it. You can share the PDF with them if you want to. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah, whatever's easiest for you.
No problem whatsoever. It is for all of you.
Yes.
It is free for the masses. Let's see. Karen says, we'll be joining the private community as soon as I get my finances in order. I had to quit my job 3 years ago due to some health issues. Well, Karen, you're fine. You take your time.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And look who is here. Sanctuary International. This is my good friend, Pastor Bob. Hello, Pastor Bob. Says, hello, good friends. Just cooked up your chuck strips you gave me yesterday. So good. I'm glad you enjoyed them. Yes. That is what you guys are going to be seeing me show you how to make using a chuck roast and turning it into like a shabu. It's fantastic. I took some to Pastor Bob who went to church yesterday.
Yeah.
I took him some for him and Miss Bonnie to enjoy. So
I'm glad he liked it.
Yes. If you guys didn't know, Pastor Bob has an incredible story as a carnivore. 140 pounds, arthritis gone, all of this other kind of stuff that has been healed. And he is a member of the private group.
You sure?
And he actually has a little place called Pastor Bob's Carnivore Corner where he gets to share about his carnivore journey and some of the things he's doing. So very cool.
It's awesome.
Thank you, Pastor Bob, for jumping in here. Nighthawk says, hello, my wife and I are cat moms too, to Cat Mom. Took note of your comment. Just wanted to say we are here for you. You are not alone, Cat Mom. I'm bracing you right now. I hope you feel it. Absolutely. Cat Mom, you are not alone.
No.
Auntie says, Chris and Ash, how can I gift Cat Mom a year membership? Auntie, this is a great question. Let me see if I can figure out how we could make that happen if you would like to do that. Perhaps Cat Mom, if you could send me an email.
Yes, that probably
maybe
be best.
If you send me an email and then we'll get you hooked up with Auntie and we'll figure out how maybe we could do that. So, because I don't know if it's in the group in a way where you can just buy it and give it to someone, but if we route it through some things, I'm sure we can work something out.
Might be able to. So Cat Mom, you want to email Chris at info@chriscookingnashville.com or just go to chriscookingnashville.com and you'll find a contact form there. But yeah, shoot us an email and Auntie, we got your info. We know you, but we'll figure it out.
We'll see what we can figure out.
We'd love to do that though. Thank you, Auntie, by the way.
Dorinda says salty is so good. She's here from Facebook. Yes, absolutely love it.
Salty is delicious.
Dustin says Shauna, that's the sweetest thing. Yes.
Auntie Shauna
is an amazing human being. You guys don't realize Shauna is amazing.
Yeah.
Like truly a sweet, sweet human being.
Yes. Lacey
says, John, I'm currently suffering from an overindulgence of keto treats from yesterday. I got rid of what was left. No more. I just can't. I feel horrible. It's okay, Lacey. Today is day one of the rest of your life.
Totally.
And we're here for you.
Yeah.
John says, 3-hour stream. I know everyone's here just talking and asking questions.
Yeah.
And, you know,
that's the thing. We just keep going, really.
Well, and the thing is, we've redone our schedule so that on Mondays, I don't have to quit and go teach a guitar lesson now. We do this, and then we go film a video. So this is a whole Chris Cooking Nashville day. So if people are here asking questions, we can take the time.
This is literally our job. This is how we pay bills, rent. So we show up and we're working. We're just here doing our thing.
Auntie says our stream became a river.
Hey, I love that.
Love it.
So
and Nighthawk says, thanks for the sausage answer. You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm here to help any way I can. Anytime you guys need something, you just ask.
Support, sausage recipes, whatever you need.
Yes. Auntie says, I love this. Dustin, I've gotten so much. I love to be able to give. Amazing.
Auntie, you're amazing.
Rick says this is becoming a 3-hour stream. Yes, it is.
We're over 3 hours, 12 minutes.
Yep. John says they may taste good, but they're not worth the consequences or the cost. You can make much better treats yourself without any fillers or consequences.
Yes.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Dustin also says, Sean, I sent you a Facebook message. And Brenda says, I saw AI did one over Dr. Oz. Some of the elders will fall for that. Yeah. That's the thing. AI people do this because people who are older, who maybe didn't grow up with technology and AI, they might not know that that's not the way that this actually works. And like, if you're not aware of this kind of stuff, you can get sucked into it. And they scam people. So if you guys see it, especially if you ever see my name attached to something and you don't think it's me, please let me know so I can go out there and try to stop it, whatever I can. John says meat aversion is very common on BBBE. Carnivore Quest call it the wall of doom. Nothing looks appealing, just fast. till something looks appealing.
Oh, that's good advice.
Yep.
Like it.
And Dustin says, Shauna has questions on how to gift Mighty Network memberships. Is it possible? So the problem is there's no like gifting option that I know of on Mighty Network, but if we route it through some other way, I'm thinking maybe we can get that figured out somehow. Yep. So yeah, so let me know. And you guys email me and we'll see if we can't route it through something to where we can make that happen for
Absolutely.
you.
And thank you, Dustin, for the super chat, by the way, my friend. Very sweet of you. Very, very sweet.
Evelyn says, I've got to run and pick up my daughter. I'll leave the TV playing so you get the watch hours. If I'm not back before you finish, bye, my lovely friends and Keto family. Evelyn, we love you. Thank you so much.
You are such a sweetheart.
Dorinda, OMG, so I just ate some pork rinds and dipped in butter. So good. Thank you, everyone, for that. Yeah, you're welcome.
That's great.
Nighthawk says, I've had the most joyful live stream experience to date. I'm going to stop commenting now, though, because you both have a life. And as much as I love this, I don't want you to feel you have to keep it up. Well, Nighthawk, you're very sweet, but here's the deal. So we do this, and then when I get to the bottom of the comments, then we go downstairs, and I'm going to start filming a video. And tell you what I'm going to film. We're doing... And I don't know if it's coming out this Saturday or next Saturday. It depends on which order I do these two videos in. One of them is my brand new carnivore pizza crust, which I already filmed.
It's amazing.
Today, we're doing carnivore mozzarella sticks. Speaking of someone who has an Italian wife, mozzarella sticks, fried mozzarella. We're doing fried mozzarella sticks.
And I am not excited about that in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's
no excitement for me.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. Lacey says, yes, that's why I was so hopeful since finding CCN recipes. I'm already planning the pot noodles with my garlic parm bechamel sauce. Ooh, sounds good. It's my favorite non-carny dish, and I'm so happy I can have it.
Yes, it's amazing.
Amazing. Nighthawk says, okay, I lied. Chris, please tell us what sausage you recommend until you come up with your own recipe. Please, LOL. Nighthawk, send me an email because I don't remember the name of it. I'm going to have to go look downstairs. But I can maybe look and find a couple of versions out there maybe I can send to you. So send me an email, info@chriscookingnashville.com.
There you go.
Sherry, you don't need to stop commenting. I bet Chris and Ash are thrilled to have someone new wanting all the info. This is why they do this.
100%.
100% right.
Sherry, we love you.
100%. Yes, we love you.
I was going to say, Sherry's been with us for a while. She knows what's up.
Yeah, Sherry's been with us so long that I put her in timeout.
Accidentally.
Accidentally. Yeah. Dustin says it's always a balance when making videos. Make them long enough to include enough information, but not overloading it too much that people check out and click away.
Very true. Yep.
It's a hard balance to strike. And I don't know if I do very well because I'm long-winded. I'm very long-winded. John says we don't have to give up most of our favorite foods. We just have to be a bit more creative.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Like it, John.
And Lacey says, I just needed a good pasta replacement. Honestly, I might just eat that for my whole carny week.
Oh, I would
totally. You go.
Yeah.
There
totally
you go.
Do that.
And I think if you really get that pasta recipe that I have nailed out, you'll get really good at doing it. I can do it in 30 minutes at this point. You get really good at it. It's so good. And you can make a big batch and they freeze really well. And then you can just throw them into boiling water to heat them back up and then serve. So it makes it really easy. Just drain them really well before you go to serve it. So, Sharon says she uses Redmond smoked salt for barbecue flavor. I love it. Carrie's going to take off. Got to get some things done. Have a good day, Carrie.
Bye, Carrie.
My mom uses allulose for sugar and homemade barbecue sauce. Works well. That's what I use too. Andy says organs need to be played, not eaten.
I like
it.
That.
Love it. Keto Simple Dustin says, Pam, allegedly allulose is the best sweetener on the market per information we currently have. Could change tomorrow. Yep, you never know. Nighthawk, my depression-era father made me eat liver as a child, so to be honest, I have PTSD about beef liver. My sweet childhood chihuahua, Tina, benefited greatly from the pieces that were given under the table. Yes, totally understand.
Yeah.
Jan is here, says, my rosacea has exploded since I started carnivore 6 weeks ago. Any ideas? So I have two things to say, and I'm not a doctor, so
keep that in mind.
Understand this is not medical advice. I have two things to say. Number one, your body might need to heal, and it may get worse before it gets better because of oxalate dumping. Number two, dairy. Skin issues always seem to be associated with too much dairy. Those are the two things that I would suggest. And I think any deeper info than that, I would suggest you go to a Dr. Barry live stream and comment and ask him if he has tips for rosacea.
Usually they do it Monday nights.
Yep.
Is that at 6 o'clock
Monday nights at 6 p.m. Central our time, I believe. So go, thumbs up for Dr. Barry.
Yeah.
Go to a Dr. Barry live stream. You'll probably have to pay for a super chat to get an answer because he gets, thousands of comments. He can't possibly get to even a tenth of what he gets. So it doesn't have to be a long one. Buy a super chat, a few bucks, and ask him for tips on dealing with rosacea since going carnivore. And let him know, I'm carnivore for 6 weeks, still have rosacea. Do you have tips? Very short and simple, and he can give you the best information he's got. He probably also already has a video on rosacea. I don't know for sure, but Google that or go to YouTube, search Dr. Barry rosacea, and see if he has a video on it. That would be your best place to start.
I will say too, because you're 6 weeks in, we've actually heard a lot of people though having skin issues and different things kind of explode when you're new, because it is your body maybe dumping, maybe healing, who knows? So may not be a bad thing. Just saying, not doctors, but hopefully that helps.
Absolutely. Jay is here. Any suggestions for a carnivore roux trying to keto-fy bitterballen, a recipe from my childhood that uses roux as a binder? I don't have a good suggestion for roux yet. I'm working on it, but it's tough because roux has both flavor and textural components, and it's very hard to replicate without starch. Yeah. But I'm trying. So
working on it.
Carrie says, I love you guys. I've had food poisoning since Thursday. Water is my friend. I'm sorry,
I'm
Carrie.
so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
That's a bummer.
Everybody's saying hi to Pastor Bob. Grill Fit Warriors is here. Hi, just wanted to pop on and say hello. Been watching since your mashed potato video came out. I haven't tried it yet, but I will soon. Well, nice. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you enjoy that recipe. That is one of my favorites.
Yes, such a good one.
Cheryl says, is there a way to make water taste better? I don't drink it. I know now it is so important. I celebrated drinking one big glass yesterday. No water, but another coffee instead today. Cheryl, the flavored electrolytes from Salty. Also putting a pinch of salt and a little bit of lemon juice in water. That's what I like to do. I either have my flavored salty electrolytes or I drink lemon water with a little bit of salt mixed in. That makes a big difference. Having minerals in the water makes a big difference. And the other thing, you just have to do it and just not drink stuff that's not water until your tastes change. And that's the big thing. That's the hard part of changing your taste buds. They'll change, they'll adapt, and you'll be very thankful for it. But you have to suffer through the first part of your taste buds changing sometimes. Yeah. So I get it. I didn't like to drink water for years, but then I realized if I don't, I'm really hurting myself. So I get it. I'm sorry. Yeah. I know it's rough. Grill Fit Warrior says, LOL, I'm on day 4 of carnivore again because I had to make a keto cheesecake for my wife. And of course, I had to eat it too. I get it. I get it. I do it every now and then too. It's okay. I have my occasional keto thing and then I go right back to carnivore. It's what I do. It's
At least you went right back to it though, man.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. JJ says, this has been awesome. I'm normally teaching and can't join in, but we're out this week for winter break. Well, JJ, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Keto Simple says, Cheryl, this is a struggle for sure. Our top water tastes like pond water. We use electrolytes. Bottled water helps to drink without flavoring. Water filters could work too. All great tips.
Yeah.
All great tips. Love it. Brenda says, I feel I must breathe your air. Where is a possible meetup? So actually, if you guys did not know about the whole partnership we have with Pastor Bob, we're going to be talking with him about that very soon. We're looking to meet up with him sooner than later, and y'all hang out because hopefully sooner than later, I'm going to have an event for you guys to hopefully be able to come to.
Which should be fun.
Yep. Stick around. Yeah. Announcements coming soon. Auntie says, OMG, carnivore mozzarella sticks speaking to my taste buds.
Same, Auntie.
Yes. And honestly,
love mozzarella sticks.
It's going to be a pretty easy recipe.
Which is even better.
Yeah. It's really not bad at all.
Yes.
Dustin says, Brenda, as soon as there is a meetup, you'll know. Fingers crossed I'll be involved and it'll be awesome. But there are 4 coming up in the Midwest between now and June. Yes. So once I get some info on stuff with Pastor Bob that we can do an event, I'm going to reach out to Dustin, maybe even Victor, if he's able to come, hopefully try to get them involved. And we'll start putting it out into the community and say, come on, y'all. And here's the deal. I'll tell you guys up front, if we have a meetup where I'm planning on doing it with Pastor Bob, I'm going to be the one cooking. So if you guys have wanted to eat my cooking, this is your chance.
I will be taste testing.
Yes.
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 Brenda says, ooh, mozzarella sticks.
Yes, exactly.
Nighthawk says, yep, figured that. So email me and I'll try to give you tips to go beyond the online stuff. He's talking to Carrie about
Which is awesome. Yeah,
UPS. See? Community, and it's not just about diet, it's about a whole bunch of things.
Help Carrie get a job, help him better his life.
Lacey, yes, I have been studying the pasta video and have everything I need on my upcoming shopping trip.
Yeah, way to go.
Excellent.
Lacey. Get it.
Grill Fit Warrior says, I use brown swerve in my barbecue sauce. Excellent. John says, yeah, that sounds like a detox reaction. I would agree.
I think it is.
Detox and or dairy. Those are the 2 things that stand out to me.
Dr. Barry will know, though.
My mom, roux substitute. Stir in darkly browned butter, thicken with egg yolk using CCN gravy technique.
There you go.
There you go. That's a way to start. People talking about water. Karen says, God bless the 2 of you, Mel, and this entire community. Well, thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
God bless you, too.
You're very sweet.
Auntie's leaving, and Nighthawk is saying she'll be missed because that's very true.
Yes.
John says, I have string cheese. We'll coat and fry. That's what I'm using to make it easy. You could buy mozzarella cheese. I just didn't want to do the work. But yes, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing.
I am so excited.
And Lacey loves mozzarella sticks.
Yes, who doesn't?
She is so excited. And Jay says, thank you to my mom. Well, guys, we are all caught up on comments. And rather than hanging out for another hour or something here with you, we're already 3.5 hours in. So before we get any further into this, we're going to tell you guys, thank you for watching. And we're going to go film carnivore mozzarella sticks now. So my links are all down below for the community, for the private community, for the ebook, for my website. My recipe cards are always there. You guys know my videos are coming. We have these Monday morning live streams every Monday. They're not usually this long, but we have them every Monday. We have the Tuesday night live streams every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Tomorrow is the cheeseburger soup. We have the pizza recipe coming, and it's amazing. We also have the mozzarella sticks recipe coming. So one of them will be this Saturday. The other one will be next Saturday. The reason I don't know is because I have to get approval from a sponsor for the pizza recipe. And if I don't get it in time for this Saturday, I'll do it next Saturday. But either way, we'll have that the next few days coming up here as we're getting things ready. There's a bunch of other stuff going on, and people in the band know I have other recipes in the works that are amazing right now. Very exciting, guys. This is just an amazing time to be a keto or carnivore person because the community is growing. We have amazing recipes coming, and there's so many things we're getting to do. Also, make sure to go to ashtaylor.com and check out all of the music that we're doing together. If you guys don't know, Ash is a country artist, and I play guitar for her, and she has a music video doing super well right now. We have a bunch of shows coming up this year we're booking. Her tour schedule is there. We'd love to see you guys come out to a show if we're in an area near you this year as we tour. So just go check out all of our stuff, and we appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you guys for being here. You all have a wonderful rest of your Monday. We're going to go film a carnivore video now, and we appreciate all of you supporting us in all the ways you do. Celebrate your successes this week and let us know what they are so we can be the people celebrating with you. We love you guys. Send me an email if you're one of those people that I said send me an email about some info, and we will talk to you directly. Thank you guys for being here. This is Chris Cooking Nashville. My beautiful, hot wife, Ash Taylor, over here. You guys eat your meat, celebrate your successes, and love your life, and we will see you guys here in the studio, downstairs in the kitchen, all sorts of other places, maybe at a meetup coming soon live for more. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.